And we're back here once again with another episode of the MSK show. And this is going to be episode 265. So I hope you guys had a great day. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your week that is ahead of you. And in this episode of the MSK show, we are going to be covering one topic. And it was a report that ended up coming out about the MCU, and it actually went over basically details of what went wrong at Marvel Studios in the early 2020s after Endgame. And that will be what we're going to be covering for the topic of tonight's show for everyone. But I know you guys love our guy bro conversations. You guys love it when I just trash talk all the people on the panel and just eviscerate them and make them feel so good with our lovely banter and entertainment. But don't worry, that will always be a part of the show. So there is a announcement that I should have to make right now. It's nothing serious at all. It's actually good, technically speaking. It's going to be a little bit harder to get something going for this, if we're talking about moving forward into like next year, but that's a different story for another day. We can cross that bridge when we get to it in 2026, which is a long time from now still at this point. Moving forward, I actually have Monday and Tuesdays off moving forward. So yes, I am back on having 2 days off together, because when something at my job changed, I ended up having Tuesdays and Thursdays off, and I gotten used to having split days off, which I'd be fine with, honestly. But they ended up changing it again, and now I have Monday and Tuesdays off. So if we do end up starting the Monday and Wednesday show earlier, it's because, well, I'm off Monday. So usually the reason why I started at 7 p.m. PST is because I would get home at 4, basically crash out for 2 hours, and then I'd have enough energy to do the show. Because usually I like to kind of take a nap before the show, whether it be like 30 minutes to an hour. That way, I'm all refreshed. I have my beauty sleep and I look really hot and good looking like I normally do, So
Well, I totally get it. I usually take a nap during the show, but that's just me.
Are you admitting you're wasting my hard-earned money that I pay you, Gray?
Yeah.
Okay. Hell yeah. Good Lord. So yeah, so just in case you do see the show start a little bit earlier, that's why. Nothing bad happened. Everything's going good. I get paid this week, so I got to get some groceries. God damn. You ever just like not pay attention to it and you're like, fuck, there's nothing in here, except some like frozen shit that you just eat until you get paid? God damn. It's okay. It's okay. I can deal with living in California, but I will not ever want to live in New York City. They're about to elect a mayor. If you guys haven't seen who this person is, oh my God. Just who knows what'll happen in New York City. Maybe Spider-Man and Daredevil and superheroes will start appearing, and maybe that'll make the city better. Just like California. California is a great, state. It has a great governor, great healthcare plans. The illegal immigration population is not breaking the law. As Lunchbox Warren says, he loves his Jolitos and his Felipes who work at Home Depot, Good God. But yes, Comicsgate is trash. I know EVS was e-fapping me and John Longsbox's show we did on Sunday. I really don't care, honestly. I unsubbed from Ethan a long time ago. So, and I think we ended up blocking each other because me and Professor Savage out on Twitter, he was talking about like something stupid that Ethan did. And I was like, I posted a picture of like, this is Ethan's favorite snack, Nutter Butter. That's it. That's what made him block me. And I was like, yes, he blocked me. I can block the guy back. Yes. I was rejoicing. I was bouncing up and down. I was backflipping in my freaking house. Oh my God. So yeah. Other than that, Shane Davis had a complete meltdown at a con because of a handshake. Yes, handshakes are considered violence now. Absolutely insane. But I know you guys have probably noticed this too. There's a lot of topics to cover. So maybe moving forward to kind of catch up on these topics, we might have to do like 3 of them on some shows. I don't know yet, but at least we'll be covering at least 1 at the minimum, or at least 2, because, that way we don't fall behind. The reason why I typically don't do a pre-recorded video anymore of these things is because, well, you guys like the insight that all of us bring rather than just me myself. I usually know how these guys are going to talk anyway, so I can bring up their points during a video anyway. But people have been really enjoying the I guess you could say, the group conversations when it comes to like some of these topics, because they end up, being very long, and they end up having to cover like all the bases, like that's why sometimes I have us cover a topic like a week after, not because I don't want to cover it initially up front, unless it's like really, really juicy. The reason why I do that is because it allows us to kind of like simmer on our thoughts a little bit. You kind of get to think about, okay, why was this decision made versus why you think it may have been made, all sorts of things. But we're going to do intros really quickly and then, get into the topic in just a moment here. So we'll start with Lunchbox Warren. He's joined Comics Gate. He's
Jesus, don't put my name with them.
$50,000, Base is gonna only be left with $5,000 after shipping the book and making it, Good Lord.
It's one of the nice things about being like almost a completely unknown comic book artist is that I don't get offered to join any of these clans or groups because no one knows who I am. So that kind of works out pretty good for me. But yeah, I've been kind of watching the Twitter. What's up, Michael and Dingus? By the way, Emily Hale. I've been watching all this stuff on Twitter with the Comic Skate, and kind of just how Comic Skate is really starting to fracture and crumble and come apart. It's just turned pretty much into Ethan and his cult, and then everyone else is kind of just leaving ship. And it's what happens when you build off of drama, though. Like eventually it all falls apart. Like you can't keep going when all you do is drama all the time. When you're constantly going after people. I mean, there's guys whose job is essentially 24 hours a day streaming against Eric July. And that's just, it's not going to get you anywhere. And we're seeing real quickly now what's happening with that and how the negativity kind of not only ruins your reputation, but it also eventually you can't contain it.
Did you see that Student of God clip where one of the people on the CG Kings panel asked him, "Why do you still do this?" And then he immediately deflected, because it's what politicians do. He immediately deflected. And he says, "I do this because of Mike S. Miller." That's not even true. That's just that man's. This is why his memory is shot. The very first Trashcast episode happened. People don't remember. Happened after him and Yellow Flash had an argument. That's the straw that broke the camel's back. The first ever Trashcast episode, you could scroll down, just type it in the channel, just type Trashcast #1 in the search bar. It is about Yellow Flash. Trashcast is a name he used after Yellow Flash's show, Flashcast. Has nothing to do with Mike S. Miller. Then someone had said, then he had basically said, "Oh, well, if I do these shows, then I can show people the truth, essentially, because if they show it to people like Bosch, the guy that literally came on Twitter, basically got on his knees, pulled down Ethan Van Sciver's pants and boxers, took his cock out, started massaging it, and put it so far back to his throat, it went to his esophagus. That's how much dick sucking Bosch was doing for him.
You used your move on him?
That was very descriptive.
Bosch wrote I shit you not, almost 4-paragraph essay love letter to this man. I shit you not. That's the first time I ever seen this person. He says he was famous. He wasn't.
I know 4 paragraphs seems like a lot to you, but were these like sizable paragraphs?
Dude, they were paragraphs where it was basically like, I love you so much. You're a veteran artist for 30 years in the comic book industry. Eric July, all this nonsense, right? He was basically like, hey, if he ever left, because he kind of implied this, like, if you ever left me, you would be a failure, which implies basically you have to be around his hug box to get funded. And it's like, oh my God, just all lies. This is why people can't accept this person to ever change. The person can't even keep his story straight. He's lied so much he doesn't even remember why he started something. Trashcast started because of him and his beef with Yellow Flash. Nothing to do with Mike S. Miller. What the fuck is going on with life? Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm insane. Maybe I'm the issue here. Not true, because I'm usually the solution and the charismatic
No, you had it right there. The Freudian slip. You are.
Dang it.
Well, charismatic might be a bit generous, but you are the problem, sir.
I am the lightning
catastrophic.
Rod. I'm the lightning rod for Riz and banter and the comedy we have in the show.
You are the source of a lot of comedy.
You are the anchor to the greatness of this show. You hold it down in place. without being able to rise.
You had the
You're
first
certainly
part right.
an anchor. You are really, keeping this show from taking off, if you will. We can't get too far away from you.
MSK being the solution is crazy. I am always going to be the solution, dingus. I'm always going to be the solution, no matter what. So, this here, I just want to make sure I reiterate this. This is not about Ethan, because he's fucking fat and useless. So, I also know that Shane Davis ate EVS's asshole, all tongue in his ass for that CG Kang position. Not King, Kang position, you know? I'm pretty sure he ate his ass up pretty good, you know?
Your
Licked
CG fan fiction is pretty wild.
I'm just saying.
You say that you know all these things. How do you know these things, sir?
I'm just saying. Like, I'm a Super Saiyan, right? Jokes aside. You know, like, how else are people getting these positions without putting their tongue deep in EVS's ass? Just pointing it out.
EVS has mentioned this. Oh, go ahead, Greg.
Talent is one thing. Sorry, that was all I was going to say. Well, please go right ahead.
Yeah, Greg.
EVS had mentioned before that streaming is his kind of day job. He mentioned that because he makes his comic books, but he needs to have a consistent amount of income. So that's why he trash casts. He trash casts because he gets super chats, and it's starting to wear thin on a lot of people. And I don't know if it's which is bigger, like the people it's starting to wear thin on, or if he still has an audience that's really paying him. But he needs to have that consistent income. We have to remember he can't do too many more crowd funds without finishing Rainbow Brute and getting that out and going. Like, I don't know if Indiegogo is going to let him do it. He's got this manga thing coming out, but who knows how well that's going to do.
Fund My Comic?
See, Fund My Comic, even though I have a lot of respect.
They can't, though, because they only allow you to have one campaign open out.
No. If you read the deal, it said you can open another campaign as long as the campaign before is in the act of fulfillment. So if he says, I'm in the act of fulfilling it right now, even though he's only maybe sending out one card like a year or something like that along those lines, like if he says he's in that, so he'll be able to have a good 3 or 4 campaigns before people are going to be like, hey, it's a bit much. Depends on how many Fund My Comic allows at one time. But he can probably run the manga campaign. But the problem with Fund My Comic, though, is that how many people who buy Ethan will switch from Indiegogo to Fund My Comic? Because some people just use Kickstarter. So then when you leave, you don't bring your entire audience, because part of your audience is like, well, I only buy on Kickstarter. I only buy on Indiegogo. So it's one of those things where how many people is he going to bring over? How much money is he going to make on it? Will he make enough money to keep the lights on? Stuff along those lines. Will it be like another $150,000, $500,000, $600,000 success? Or is it going to be, there's a lot of questions on it. But yeah, he keeps doing the trash cast because he needs to make money. He needs his super chats. And the best way he knows how to do it is to shit on people. That's why he does like 3-hour ones, jumping after small little indie guys, or going after Eric July, or being all butthurt because John Lawnbox wants to call him out on his shit. I mean, it's just usual drama shit.
What's what I've noticed with people, they don't actually fund the smaller people. And I'm not saying they're owed your money. What I'm saying is I've always found it interesting, even in like sports, like how like certain sports teams in traditional sports will be given like less of a budget certain years, and they have to make that work, and they get good results out of it. That's what I see like the smaller indie comic creators as. Like, they're able to get way lesser of funds for their book to be even made, and they still make it happen, and they still put the books out on time. But people just see that, and they just give money to these other people still. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Maybe it's just the fans' problem. If the fans want to keep being in the perpetual cycle of giving their money to people that they know aren't shit, I can't even blame the creators at the point. The creators are proving and trying. They're doing everything they can. That's why sometimes I actually blame the fans. Like, fans aren't these like angels that people make out to be on social media. There are some times where there's a little bit of like, God damn, you people in the studio are treating them like bad. Like that's how you really feel about your fans. But sometimes fans are just awful people. Like, they smell, they actually can't talk. They sound nasally. Their mom definitely pays for their cell phone bill. Oh God, it's horrible. Good Lord. Some fans are just completely pompous, stuck up losers, honestly. But what would I know about
Yeah.
being in that? I'm a charismatic Riz master.
That's right. The top G, right?
So I know people are gonna ask me this because it always happens every single time, every single goddamn time.
But why though?
It's game day, people. No, it's Superman. That's not this week. That's the following week. We have Jurassic World Rebirth coming up next week. I've seen Fallen Kingdom and Dominion in theaters. I watched the other ones at home via means, right? Or is Jurassic World Rebirth this week? Let me see, because I really don't remember.
No, I think it's like
pretty sure it's next week. Yeah, it's July
3rd, right? Like Thursday, July 3rd, because
it comes out before 4th of July. Okay.
Yeah, because 4th of July is on a Friday, so they'll release.
The Thursday screening.
Thursday.
Yeah. So I will most likely end up watching Jurassic World Rebirth on Monday. That's what I'll probably most likely watch it at. Let me see what times I have for it. How to fuck your We don't have Jurassic World Rebirth? Oh no, it won't, because it
comes out next Wednesday.
Yeah. Gray, why are you yelling at me?
I didn't yell at you. I was condescending, sir. They're different.
True.
You should know that by now.
Okay, so these screenings are insane for Jurassic World Rebirth for my city. Because if I choose to go the week of, like, let's say I don't have a MSK show on Saturday for like prior one-on-one booking or anything, I can actually go see it because I'll get off work around like 3 o'clock or whatever. If I can play my cards right, I can basically go see it at 6:30. So for everyone here, I'll probably go see Jurassic World Rebirth on Saturday, or I'll go on Sunday, because Sunday there's a showing for it at 9:15. Holy fuck!
What, in the morning?
In the night.
Oh, I was gonna say Jesus.
Yeah, so I can probably go 9. I can probably go Sunday or Saturday. It really just depends, because right now MSI is gonna end up happening for League of Legends. It's a competitive event, international, that happens for League of Legends in the middle part of the year. So I'm probably gonna go either Sunday or I'll go on my day off to see it. So I will see it. Same with Superman, because I don't know what I'm gonna watch Superman, but I don't know if I can watch it day of. I'm
gonna probably watch it the following week, like a Monday or Tuesday.
It's not that I don't want to watch it initial opening weekend, but Cloud9 podcast, it's just so hard at this time of the year. This time of year, I'm actually really busy with like League and other stuff too, but I will be watching Superman. All these movies are getting watched, but if I don't watch them opening weekend, I'll go either the Sunday, because on Sunday I have my next day off, which is Monday, which is nice now to have, so I can go to the movie theaters on the weekends now, technically, before the night's over. And then, I could just have the Monday off. So, as everyone knows, Ironheart is out. I don't know if you guys are going to watch it, because Greg usually still watches these shows, actually. I don't know if anyone is going to be watching Ironheart. Will, what's up, buddy? How you doing, white man?
Are you a glutton for punishment, Gray?
Gray, he watches all these bad shows. I told him I was out since She-Hulk. You ain't tricking me again. I'm done, honestly. You will never get me to watch one of these shows ever again. Keep in mind, the word of mouth hasn't improved on these shows. Apparently, they still can't write superhero TV. So, this is basically...
I mean,
go ahead.
Your title is What Went Wrong in the Early 2000s. Keep in mind, this show has been on the shelf for like 3 years. So this is from early 2020. So,
was supposed to come out like before Black Panther 2 or something like that?
I believe so. I think she was teased before that. Excuse me. Gotta silence the dog.
Damn dogs. You're a little small one, don't you?
Got a couple of them. They're both Shih Tzu mixes, but yeah.
Good Lord. You're going to have to bring them
Small
on.
dogs are awesome.
You're going to have to turn your camera for our 500 episode special and bring them on the show. Wow. Damn, they look kind of vicious. Oh my God. Huh. I'm going to watch because I have no life. That's true. We all have no lives and we all review movies and all that stuff because...
If I had Disney Plus, I would watch it, but I have a good excuse. I don't have Disney Plus, so...
No, it's Universal. It'll be on Peacock.
What's that? Ironheart?
Oh, Ironheart's on Disney Plus. Yeah, I think you're about Jurassic World Rebirth.
Oh yeah, Jurassic World. I'll catch when it comes onto Peacock. I mean, I love the original Jurassic Park trilogy. I liked some of the stuff with Chris Pratt, but I wasn't really big into it. It got really repetitive too. It was kind of like, oh, what happened here? Well, let's go to this island. There's dinosaurs. They break out. Oh no, and then we run away from them.
Like, I remember the word of mouth on these hasn't changed at all. Like, these are still not. I mean, just going off of like.
ScarJo though.
Oh, sorry, not Jurassic World Rebirth. Yeah, the only two that I like, obviously, it's the original. No, they're never topping that. And I guess there's Jurassic World in there. I actually had fun with Jurassic World. I get why people didn't like it, but I thought it was fun. I thought it was good, decent. I thought it was decent enough. Jurassic World 2, I didn't like. Jurassic World 3 is yikes, fucking hell.
What's the early word on the one coming out? Like any early word?
It's been mixed to positive.
Oh, okay.
Oh, actually, before we go over our topic, we'll cover some of the reactions for it. So, this is what I've said about Ironheart. Obviously, I watched like part of the trailer because I was just not interested. So this is what I said, and this is what usually happens. I learned after She-Hulk season 1 that these Disney Plus MCU TV shows are extremely awful or just meh. After watching so many of them, I realized that it wasn't going to get any better. Disney has proven they don't know how to hire writers to write superhero TV. I don't think
and then just to clarify this, when you say that you watched She-Hulk season 1, you got to like episode 3, right?
6.
So
6.
You almost made it to the wedding. Okay, so then it seems like you've done your due diligence. Though.
I didn't even get to the Daredevil. So that episode 6 I watched was so useless and trash. I actually was. People didn't see this because I had to do reactions. That stuff. I had those watch parties on my certain other place that got retconned by YouTube. I literally was like, why did I watch this? This is an actual waste of time. I literally said that when no one was around. I was like, stuff is a waste of time. And even after that, I mean, people talked about Secret Invasion. People didn't like that. Echo was dropped all at once. No one even remembers it even exists.
And that's not what they're doing with this one. This one, you're getting 3 episode drops, so it must be like twice as good as Echo. Come on.
Exactly. Oh God.
Dropping it all at once doesn't mean anything, though. There's some really good shows that got dropped, so I don't know, man.
Let me see. There was something else here that. I want a second here. Oh God. I think I had it right here. Where Discussing Film had put out this. So Discussing Film and like a lot of these Hollywood media outlets where they try to obviously get like the passes and stuff to review stuff early on to get the clicks and everything for their websites and shit. Because Discussing Film does this when they know there's something that is absolutely gonna get a huge amount of freaking just not just backlash, fan reactions for like horrible castings for movies or television, all that stuff. They'll always like turn off the replies, so you have to like retweet it. Then I don't know why they think turning off comments is going to be even better than, keeping this up. This is actually arguably even worse, keeping that up, because people could just constantly retweet it to themselves. I being honest, you probably should just keep the comments open and disable that. But whatever. What do I know? They said, despite what online trolls want you to believe, Ironheart is one of the far better MCU shows in recent years. And this is just what I put.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Maybe.
Well, you're doubting, but okay. I'm going to hold your feet to this fire then, MSK. What is a far better MCU show in recent years?
The only one I ever even enjoyed kind of slightly because of John Walker was Falcon and Winter Soldier, and like an episode here and there of What If season 1.
That was terrible.
Okay. I think we're on What If season 3. Did you watch that one?
Shit. Nope.
No, I think that's what they're on.
The episodes of What If that were bad were so unbelievably bad. I was like, you know what?
Okay.
I'm dipping out. I'm good.
So you dipped out. So are you saying that that's better than Ironheart? Riri? So you don't know, but you're saying
all the same.
Okay.
The level is the same.
Okay. What about the Hawkeye show? Did you watch the Hawkeye show?
I did. It was.
What do you think? Is Kate Bishop better than this?
Probably. could only
Okay.
There was one decent episode in Hawkeye. It was like episode, I think,
The one with the tree?
No, episode 3 or 4 was just kind of good a little bit.
What about
these shows usually
Rockefeller
have
Center?
these shows usually have one good episode in them. I can't.
Okay.
I mean,
what about Moon Knight? Was Moon Knight better?
If they have one good episode in this show, like Moon Knight did, they would be probably about the same level, which would be like a 3 out of 10, probably.
I mean, of course, we all know that Wanda and Agatha were a lot better than this, but I don't know, man. I'm finding it hard to come up with a whole bunch of them that are better than this. The recent ones have not been good. So
have you got to
I think
see
their statement
Ironheart
isn't
yet?
that controversial.
Have you got to see Ironheart yet, Gray?
I haven't. I don't know. What can I say? I'm not super motivated to see it, but what I have seen in the teaser trailers seems kind of interesting. It's kind of like Iron Man with some magic in there.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. That could be cool.
Great. I'm so surprised that you didn't want to go see this after seeing the other abominations of shows they've made already. Crazy.
I will see it. I am sadly a completionist, so I am going to get through this. But what can I say? I enjoyed my time on the coast. I wanted to stay in that good place. So,
oh God,
yeah.
Because even accounts like the Hollywood Handle, One News Media, I think it's called. There's always these weird ones like People of Color trash like that. Like even the outlets like this one that's basically like kind of discussing film. Even their review was Ironheart has some fun moments, but it's never interesting enough, nor it manages to stick the landing. Isn't that all these shows? All of them have this. At least the ones that I watch, all of them have this problem. Bland characters. Oh, fucking hell. Sure didn't get that from those other shows, right? And a super uninteresting plot. Yep, sure didn't get that either from the other ones. It was just only fucking the recent ones. Good Lord.
Well, I mean, it has nothing. It was filmed years ago. It has nothing to build off of because there's nothing being built right now in the MCU. Like right now, there's no all of the stuff that was being built up by Wanda and by Loki was completely destroyed when they got rid of the actor playing Kang, and now they're going to be doing a switch out for Doom. And if the rumors are true, the after credit scene of the Fantastic Four is going to have our first appearance of Doom, even though apparently we're not going to see his face. It's going to be shrouded. But if that's true. So this show, even if it was astounding, it has nothing to build off of. It has no momentum. There's no canon being developed right now. No one really knows what the hell is going on. You know, I mean, Agatha was good from what I've heard from the reviews and from what Gray said, so that's good that they're building on that. But as an overall arcing universe building towards the Avengers movie, it really feels like everything's disconnected, and we're not going to really get any kind of motion until we get to the Avengers movies. Like the Avengers movie is essentially going to reestablish the MCU apparently, but that's still not that's 2 years away. So I don't know. Like even if this show is great, it's going to run into the problems of the fact of people like myself who have just checked out. We don't have Disney Plus anymore, and we just don't really care about MCU stuff anymore. We don't get excited about it. And when you hear about the stuff that goes on behind the scenes, you know, with being super late and all of those lines, it just gets to the point where it's like, I'm not going to go and spend the money to get Disney Plus.
Even just recently with Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, still working on the CGI the week they had the premiere.
Yeah.
That is insane.
Secret Wars, they were writing the script as they were filming the episodes. You know, just a lot of reshoots. Like Captain America, the ending gets gutted, and they have to redo the whole thing. You know, it's just there's a lot of disorganized mess right now. And even if this show is good, it's going to run into the problem of the fact that just so many people have checked out. And no one gives a shit because
that's the problem the Thunderbolts ran into.
Because
Thunderbolts, people said some of them liked it. It wasn't an overwhelmingly hated MCU movie, but people didn't check it out because the prior MCU movies just turned people off. That's what happens when you put out enough bad movies in a row, and even in a franchise like this, which is massive. We're gonna be 37 films deep here when it comes to Fantastic Four. Holy motherfuck. Jeez, damn, 17 years. Holy crap. People have checked out. That's what happens. Even the franchise this big, with this much goodwill that it had, you put out enough bad movies in a row, people are like, I am done. I am going to get the fuck out. Ironheart's, this was IGN's. You know, IGN is the biggest fucking dog shit ass shill media website to ever exist. I think they invented that term, shill media, unless you want to go like Collider or some shit. Remember that fucking clown?
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, so reading their statement, they're kind of seeing what I saw, which is MCU science meets magic, and they collide in this one. That could be really cool. I like how they've handled magic. I've enjoyed that a lot more than a lot of these recent superhero ones from the MCU. So I don't know. It could be cool, but I don't know how they're going to handle this. So far, I haven't been impressed. So we'll see. But, you know, it's not like they're saying it's the best thing ever.
They gave it a 5.
Run-of-the-mill antagonist and cynical script with few characters to root for. Yeah, and that's also a problem too, is that the characters are not getting character arcs that are like, that was my one big problem with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, was that no clear enemy, characters were not getting good arcs, and they should have spent the entire time concentrating on Falcon being Captain America instead of all of this kind of other like rammed in stuff. I mean,
that's what you get the next movie for. That's what Brave New World was all about. We're just going to rehash that territory.
Yeah. Brave New World, where it was supposed to build up a Falcon and Winter Soldier, but no Bucky, just one cameo of Bucky.
It was like Falcon wasn't even the lead character in that movie. Like Captain America was not the lead in his own movie, which was essentially the Incredible Hulk 2.
Then they swapped out Black Falcon for Taco Falcon, and I was like, "What do we talk about? Nope. God damn." No. Hey, I dated a Mexican girl. I know how they are. It's okay, you know. It just. I will say this. I mean, even from when because Daredevil just dropped not too long ago, the reception on that you guys said was very lukewarm. Like, kind of did it for you guys, kind of didn't do you. If they can't even do Daredevil for you guys, it's like, is there any hope for this? I would say this. How about just pull? They tried it.
I think there's anyone that said that they kind of did it. I don't know. It's got like 2 interesting fight scenes, and everything else, it feels very disjointed. You can tell what was there before and what got added. It's not good, man. I don't know if anybody's saying like it was okay. It was just it
Bob
wasn't
did,
good.
right? Didn't Bob say it was okay? I think he did. I could be wrong. I think Bob was.
Oh man, that's 2 real bad takes from him. If so, saying like Andor is not good and saying that one is good. Oof.
Yo, God, that's where you draw the line at Andor season 2 and Daredevil Born Again. This is where we draw our lines these days with the quality that Hollywood's putting out. Like, oh my God, for me, and then there was another rumor from like Cosmic Marvel. It's a woman-led media outlet site. They're like, we want to hire women. It's like, that's already just elves. But there's a rumor that they heard from someone that basically went like, they're gonna not do big reveals for these shows. They're gonna kind of save that for the movies. That should have always been the thing, though. These should have always been smaller scale, medium scale character arcs for characters that didn't justify a movie because there's not that much interest in them. That's really all that it should have been, you know? But that's where we're at now with the MCU. That's just fucking sad. Oh, God. It's apathy sitting in. But don't worry, guys. No one has actually settled in any apathy for me because they love me so much, actually.
Well, you know, that's one of the problems with the MCU is that it's supposed to be a connected universe, but it doesn't feel connected at all. They don't utilize that. You know, they don't like if this is Ironheart and she's making an Iron Man suit, and you don't have Favreau's character. What's his name? Is it Foggy? No. His driver assistant guy. You don't have him show up somewhere in it, or Gwyneth Paltrow show up in it, or even a hologram of RDJ as an AI or something Like what are we doing? Like there's nothing being built right now. It feels so disjointed. What's the overarching storyline right now? I mean, what's going on that's building towards where we give a shit about Doomsday, except for the fact that they hired RGDJ back. That if that's like no story, it's almost like Marvel just or the MCU and Kevin Feige just said, we did really great up until Endgame, but we really need to stop wasting time writing all these scripts. We can just wing this shit. There's be no fucking problem. Let's just do it. And it just turned into a freaking mess right now. I mean, there is some diamonds shining through, but how many times are we going to hear about production being, with Daredevil, completely changed around?
Remember
Happy
there
Hogan.
was I think maybe it was early 2023, 2024, I can't remember exactly, was where Bob Iger had an interview with the MCU talking about it, and he basically said, we're gonna, do this thing of like, we're gonna have some quality control. We're gonna limit our output on, stuff that's gonna be coming out. It's like, goodness gracious. And the other thing he had mentioned was he said for Thunderbolts that was pretty much like what their sign of quality was moving forward. Yeah, but average people see, I don't agree with this, but average people view quality as far as like numbers. Like they think like the amount of money you make for a movie justifies the quality the quality of movie. That's not really ever true. That's kind of a false dichotomy in my opinion. But what else are we supposed to, if you're a casual, what else are we supposed to judge it on? The movie fucking outright failed, you'd have to probably, you blame the movie, right? I mean, that's 1 + 1 = 2, right? But we'll see where it goes. But we're gonna read about it. Just a moment here.
Well, that's kind of a weird way of looking at it. I guess it depends in whose perspective are you looking from. Like from the studio, of course. The only reason why it would be a success if it makes money or wins awards.
Yeah,
does something to build up the company.
Yeah.
If you're talking from a fan's perspective,
remember they always say,
I think
it
it's
made
just
$1 billion.
whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you one movie that I've liked more because it's making money. Like I was one of the few people who liked the Minecraft movie. But it seems to be making money. That doesn't make me like it more or anything like that. It just it's a weird ass Jared Hess movie.
Yeah,
it's not the guy that I would make that movie with, and I'm glad that they did. So a lot of things caught me off guard, and it's like, okay, I like that. It's offbeat, and I know MSK enjoys the offbeating.
Thunderbolts was both critically and audience-wise pretty positive. So it's like people who went to go see it, more of them liked it than not. It's just not many people went to go see it, which is a problem that Marvel has to figure out. It's like, how do we get asses in seats again? Because we can't just keep making quality and then have it still not doing good money-wise, because Iger and the money people are going to get pissed off still. Like we can't be breaking even or losing money on these movies, which I believe they lost money on Thunderbolts, or was it at least a break even? I mean, it wasn't good. Yeah, I think it did worse than Brave New World, and Brave New World didn't do that good either. So
Brave New World, you could just say debatably was a complete disaster financially. If that rumored budget is true, the only reason why we didn't know what the real budget was because they didn't film it in the UK. The reason why those other movies' real budgets came out was because they had to file taxes in the UK to get the credits back. Then we got to see the actual real budgets, because a lot of people were under the assumption that Multiverse of Madness did pretty well because it $300 million budget or $200 million budget made like $939 million. You're like, well, okay, that's probably pretty successful. Oh wait, the budget was $400 million. Oh wait, oh god, yeah, that might have needed $1 billion. Crap, you were just so close. Like I don't even know if Black Panther 2 made profit for them. Black Panther 2 is like what, $300 million? It only took it like 800 something. Like Thor: Love and Thunder broke even 200, only like 720. If you're not factoring in, these are all like not marketing factored in either. So god damn, good lord. So, man, you guys are looking kind of juicy tonight. Would you like to give me a hug? No. All right.
No.
I hate you. I hate all you guys. But we are going to get things done tonight. Give me 1 second.
Things
Oh,
you say?
are you guys into like James Bond? I'm not that super into it, but I watched a few movies here and there.
Yeah, I thought
Depends on the
Casino
Bond.
Royale. I love Casino Royale with.
I did. That's a really good movie,
That's
actually.
a damn good movie. I really
Yeah.
liked the Pierce Brosnan time period. Not Pierce Brosnan, but Timothy Dalton. That's where I first kind of discovered Bond was with the Timothy Dalton Bond films, which are really underrated in my opinion, or underappreciated in my opinion. And I did like the most recent guy. I didn't watch the last one though. I didn't get a chance.
No Time to Die isn't really all that good. I didn't care for it that much. I seen it in theaters when it dropped in 2021. It came up before Venom with the Big Carnage, and I was like, you know what? I didn't see the other previous in the franchise too. I went to like we have a Game World here over a GameStop, and I was picking out a movie to watch. I had some extra money. I was like, I want to watch a movie, and I randomly just grabbed Casino Royale. I was like, this is so good. I didn't even know it was tied to James Bond. It's fucking great. That's how you get a new fan to watch shit. They just pick out a random movie in your franchise, and it just can make you a fan. I didn't even know what movie I was in. I was like, this is fuck, just jizz everywhere. Oh god,
was it
fucking whole house?
The beach scene for you?
I remember. I think it was the ending.
It was the beach scene.
Oh god,
Yeah.
I'm not. No, I am not a I am a heterosexual. I'm not a homosexual. Obviously, you know. They're apparently eyeing that light-skinned black dude. That's gonna be fucking hell, Jon Stewart in that Lantern show to be.
He's a
James
good
Bond.
actor.
Nice.
That was the person being eyed currently right now.
Yeah,
Wouldn't hate that.
I wouldn't hate that either. I wanted Idris Elba, but I think he's gotten too old. So
yeah, he's too black now.
No, I think he would have made an amazing Bond.
And he's black enough. Come on, MSK.
No, I have no problem.
I think Idris Elba would have been awesome. He kills whatever he's in. Recently, I had heard though that it was going to be gender swapped or whatever. That gave me some hesitance. Just
you can't do
I don't
it.
know. We've had so many female spy things too. Like it seems like it could work, but for Bond, like I don't know.
I don't think you could do it. Like I could see you race swapping Mission Impossible or gender swapping Mission Impossible before you did it to Bond. Bond, there is kind of that chauvinistic, like that male presence about Bond that just makes it work. I don't know if it would work.
So.
I think you could put any race in there as long as and it will work. I have no problem with the race swap on that. But when you come to gender swap, I think you could do it to Mission Impossible's Ethan Hunt before, and that would make more sense than you could with James Bond. That's just me.
The spy that sleeps with everyone. Like it's still. I feel like there's elements that could work, but man, it's not going to be the same having a female in like any of those situations. It's going to change it up a bit. I don't think you can do that with Bond, but you know, why not have a ballerina of the Bond world, if you will? It feels like you could spin off and have a whatever female secret agent. Why not?
Well, that's the way to do it. Is you start off with a new Bond, introduce a character, and then if everything goes right, you can spin her off and have her own series too. I mean, I could definitely see that working. There is something about the Bond presence, like when he walks into a casino, like I always joked, it was like the old Connery Bond. He'll walk into a casino, go right up to the main bad guy, and use his real name
right now.
Like, I'm Bond, James Bond, like instantly.
Now we know
that, MSK?
Now we know who the director is for the new James Bond movie.
Who's that?
It's gonna be the guy who directed the Dune movies.
Oh,
Denis Villeneuve?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
We'll direct the next James Bond film.
I'm interested, man.
I'm in.
This dude could finally. I don't know. I'm interested to see. Denis Villeneuve does some really amazing movies. I think he could do a really interesting take on Bond. That's really awesome news.
Yeah, wow. I'm happy with this one.
Why didn't they get Michael Bay? I heard he's not been getting the phone ain't been ringing lately.
They probably care about quality and
damn.
Legacy. I mean,
boobs, butts, explosions. Come on. Well,
no.
Ugh, God.
Have Megan Fox be Bond then in that case.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, see, I'm not the hugest Bond guy. I just wanted to cover this really quickly because, we were talking about James Bond. Denis Villeneuve will direct the next James Bond film. He says, and I quote, "Some of my earliest movie-going memories are connected to 007. I grew up watching James Bond films with my father ever since Dr. No with Sean Connery. I'm a diehard Bond fan. To me, he's sacred territory," Villeneuve said. Well, at least there won't be a freaking black... I don't know. Isn't James Bond usually described as a white guy? Or is that just
He
the
was,
opportunity
but
he has?
it's a mantle. Like, it is a
mantle,
position that
like
people
Snow
take
White?
up. No, seriously. Like, even
Okay.
throughout the canon of it, different people become Bond,
It's
become
like a
007.
Doctor Who thing. It's
Yeah.
like it's like James Bond's not even his real name. It's a code name, a 007 kind of deal. That's
Someone
almost
said-
like the way they play it up. Like they have been doing some kind of like reboots. Like Daniel Craig's was almost like a multiverse Bond because they went all the way back to like childhood. But Pierce Brosnan and Timothy Dalton, and it's I think you could do it pretty easily and pull it off, honestly.
Someone said to cast Robert Pattinson as Bond?
But Jesus, no.
Oh, no. I don't know
So,
about that.
there's a possibility that it could work. I really thought there's no way that you could put that sparkly guy as Batman, but man, I've come to appreciate that film more and more, especially after the Penguin. I don't know. I thought there's zero chance that he could play the Bat, but he was okay at that. I just think his worst part was actually playing Bruce Wayne, which I feel like the Bond character is a bit similar-ish, being like the playboy type or whatever. But yeah, I don't see him being strong as that. Give me any of the aforementioned characters, Idris Elba, the dude who's playing Jon Stewart, like any of them, I'd take over Pattinson.
I would take Henry Cavill as James Bond over Robert Pattinson. Like, Henry Cavill, I know he can't act very well. I think his acting is really overrated.
Yes, he can. The Cavalrine is great. You're wrong.
He needs a
he's-
director that'll whip him into shape.
You do have to do a Batman with James Bond because you're absolutely right, Gray. There are three.
But that should
James
never be
Bond.
said in a sentence.
There's three of them. There's Agent when he's in agent mode.
Yes.
There's the Playboy, and then there's the real orphan James Bond agent. And so you have to be able to, like Daniel Craig pulled that range off. I don't think Cavill could.
If he had range, it could work because he has the look. He definitely looks physically intimidating, but his acting is just. He never has a director that pushes him harder than. The only reason why people liked him in Mission Impossible 6 is Christopher McQuarrie was there and Tom Cruise was there. The only reason why he was pushed, if he doesn't have a director or a team to push, he will just phone it in. Promise.
Then explain Geralt. Like, how come that worked so well?
I
he had some range in there. I'm not saying he's got Craig range, but there was some emotions he felt.
And I think though, because if you look at his younger stuff, like when he was in what was it that series about King Henry VIII, the Tudors, he had range in that too. So he is capable of it. But I think MSK's right, which I have a hard time saying. Hold on.
Wow.
I think MSK's right. It has to be the right director to get it out of him, and then you can start seeing that range. It'll be interesting to see him because they're filming the new Highlander right now. So I'm excited for that because it's the John Wick guy director with Henry Cavill, and then Russell Crowe's going to be in it. So yeah, I'm excited for that. But yeah, he does have the range. He just needs someone to bring it out of him and kind of really direct him to do it, I think.
I understand that he's not being considered for this version of it, but Denis Villeneuve, if he can make Chalamet seem like he actually could do like anything physically to anybody, I think that dude could get the best performance out of Cavill. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have just never seen Timothée Chalamet as like any sort of threat. And man, that last fight in the final moments of that Dune movie, just
Before we go,
what can I say?
Stop.
Bizarro Superman, I see.
I'm gonna be a super dad. Oh my goodness.
Oh my god.
Season 3 is looking good. Oh my god.
Stop it. Oh my god.
I still might be
I'm not going to defend the show. It is not a good show, but she is getting way more hate than she deserves. She had some range, but man, did they choose some weird ways to
Okay, can you answer me this,
emphasize
dude?
stuff in the end.
Why is Pedro Pascal only playing dad roles? I can see why people call him daddy. He's gonna be a dad in Fantastic Four. He was a dad in The Mandalorian. He was a dad in that show. He's just everyone's dad apparently.
Hey, you haven't watched his most recent one. He's not a dad. I
He was a
mean, he
dad
might
in-
be a daddy in that one, but
Wonder Woman 84. He was a dad in that one too.
okay, but we're talking about the materialist or whatever. Just
Great.
saying.
I hate you. Stop.
I know you'd call him Zaddy or whatever in this one, but come on, man.
That was really gay. Just saying. Well, and as a insanely hot, rich heterosexual, we have to do content.
Oh, Warren's
here.
going to talk on this?
Oh,
Oh,
crazy.
cool.
Oh, wow. See, I don't pay you guys enough for this, honestly. The banter and the jokes have to be dialed up to a freaking 10. No? You guys,
Well, we just let
God,
you talk, and
goodness gracious. Let me see if the show got updated. No, there. Good lord. Okay, so we're at 265 episodes now when we're doing this episode of the MSK show. IMDb is still not caught up. They've only counted for 228 episodes. So when you guys have always said like, "Oh, I think I have more appearances," you probably do. It's just not updated fast enough because we do have literally episodes borderline.
Am I still in second
every day.
place?
I check right now. Your
I'm coming for
Gray
your
is
spot,
you're still
Gray.
second place. Gray is 43. You have 33.
Oh, I'm coming for your spot,
You're
Gray.
10 episodes away.
Don't take any more
Please.
vacations because I don't have a life. I'll take it.
I'm looking for like night dental appointments, anything I can really get.
God, remember me and Warren used to do a show on Thursday. We have to kind of bring that back sometimes. There's so much fucking comic book news to go over, But the Cloud9 podcast is hard to conflict with that too. So maybe I don't know, because moving forward on Thursdays, if you want to do something on Thursday, we can. It would just have to be before that show. So we would have to do it like 6, I think. But that's too early. Do you think?
I can pull that off.
I'm saying like after this week, I'll see what time I really have.
Yeah.
Then
I'm busy.
we'll kind of
I've got
see.
a show on this Thursday, so.
Oh, whoa. So he's booked. I'm booked on Thursdays. Warren's going to try and get paid from someone else. I didn't agree to these bookings. You guys have to tell me I'm the showrunner. I have to book these episodes in advance. Good Lord. It's okay.
I'm just trying to build my audience. So, I've got like 5 people now. I'm trying to get to 6.
6. Join the club. I've been at fucking 3 forever. You join the club and like it. We need Warren and right? There is a Warren and a Warren, and we have BS Warren that used to be on the show sometimes.
We're going to start the Council of Warrens.
Oh, God, man. But, another thing I want to say before we get to the topic, which is, Michael reminded me of this, that I hadn't been no, I kind of was, but then I was kind of banging out my wife, jokes aside. All the entertainment and banter is there. Okay, no, being serious. So, Michael reminded me that I wasn't actually updating my Spotify for the episodes of the MSK show or the Cloud9 podcast. So here's the update with that. So as of basically last night, I was uploading the remainder of the Cloud9 podcast episodes where I left off, and I'm going to upload all of those to where it's at right now. Then I'm going to finish uploading the Iron Man podcast episodes. I've already changed the name and everything. It's just going to be Master Swag King, Cloud9, the MSK show. I already have the watch order in the description on Spotify. And once I get done with those shows and those are finished, then obviously when we have new episodes of the Cloud9 podcast, I'll upload those immediately. I'm not going to let it drag out for too long anymore. I'm going to immediately, when it gets done, download them, upload them. Then with the MSK show, right when the Iron Man podcast is done and I have all the rest of those episodes finished and up there, then I'm going to upload the episodes of this show. And then when these episodes are done as they're new, I'm going to just upload them straight. That's what I'm going to do. So yeah, if you guys basically have a Spotify or you want to listen to the podcast on podcasting platforms, we're there. New episodes are going to be dropping. I'm just going to get the Cloud9 podcast done, then the Iron Man podcast, and then I'll upload the episodes of this show. So that's it. So got a lot of things I'm doing recently. I got
That's going to take a lot of editing?
No, you just download and just upload. That's it.
No, but you said that you were going to make it straight. So that's a lot of editing, man. To make your show seem straight.
I hate you. So I have to put out pre-recorded content on this channel, pre-recorded content on my comic book channel, at the podcast platforms to upload the podcast episodes, uploading all the pre-recorded content, the Rumble that we do on this channel from the very first video I want all it there, just in case anything might happen, allegedly, wink, wink. And then the comic book channel content over there too. So got a lot of stuff I got to do, and it's going to get done every day for hours on end.
20 people who pay attention to us are going to love it.
I actually have 27 followers on Spotify. It's crazy. I hadn't uploaded in like weeks. The last time I had an episode that I put out up there was like 2 weeks before Thanksgiving of last year. Ridiculous. It's actually insane. Good Lord. Do you have the budget to make it straight? It has to be expensive. I've had sex with so many women. I'm just a definite confirmed heterosexual.
3-hour stream, and it's like 20 minutes afterwards. It's like a Zack Snyder film, just like 3 hours cut out of it.
Oh God. Oh, also, I have a Substack now, and they allow you to put out your podcast over there. So I put out all the episodes of the podcast currently on Substack. It's all done. Substack is mostly for writers, but I was like, hey, is this for podcasters? Then they're like, yeah, sure. I'll just put my episodes over there. Will I ever write a novel? I don't know. I'm always pondering the ideas of what I could do if I ever wrote something. Maybe I just do it in AI, just tell them what I fucking want wrote, and I'll just have them do it.
Substack's a good way to build a mailing list too. So
yeah,
I got one too, but I don't use it right now. I need to figure out how to kind of use it to make it work, but I just haven't took the time yet.
Me neither, because writing is for losers and pompous nerds, honestly, and pretentious pricks. And we also have a can of mustard here. So if you guys end up seeing this episode in the future on the podcast platforms, yes, there's a literal can of mustard. You are not imagining that. That is here. Cool. I'm essentially talking to the future. All right, let's have some fun. We're gonna have an absolute giga bang her. Because I don't get to bang my wife a lot. I have to beat off myself, jizz everywhere. The carpet looks like a fucking ice rink. I'm joking, everyone. Whenever I say that, I'm joking. I'm not being serious.
No, we don't think you could ice skate.
I did ice skate once, and I was really pretty bad at it. But if I did it like every week, I'd probably be pretty good at it. But
you should film it next time.
All right, let's have some fun. Hey everyone, I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about a major MCU report details what went wrong at Marvel Studios in the early 2020s. So, as you guys know, the Marvel Cinematic Universe kicked off in 2008 with Iron Man, which starred Robert Downey Jr., and the movie was directed by Jon Favreau. And, fun fact, a lot of you guys don't actually remember this because you're too young. Paramount, yes, the studio that does the Sonic movies and the Transformer movies and all that other stuff. Yeah. They're the ones that took the risk on the MCU, not Disney. Disney acquired basically Marvel during the end of 2012. That's why when you see Iron Man 3, you still see the Paramount logo as a distributor of the movie for Iron Man 3. And then when it comes to I think it was Thor the Dark World that came out after Iron Man 3, that's when you see just the Disney logo on it because, that's when they let the transition fully went through. So I always say this. Iron Man started the MCU, but it really was that 2012 Avengers movie that really solidified the MCU and put it on the map. man, I remember going and watching that movie opening weekend. God damn, was that a banger? Just an absolute fucking banger, you know? And I still think movies in phase one are deeply underappreciated. I mean, Iron Man's one of my favorite. That's in my top 5. I love that fucking movie. Rewatched it 1,000 times. You know, I love the Thor movie. You know, I think First Avenger gets better and better and better with each rewatch about what they actually did in that movie. I think the weakest movies in phase one definitely is The Incredible Hulk. That's with Ed Norton. I think it was directed by Louis Leterrier. And you have Iron Man 2. I think those are probably the weakest movies of phase one. But overall, you know, phase one is, you know, pretty solid in my opinion, actually. You know, and then you also factor in Jon Favreau, Louis Leterrier, Joe Johnston, Kenneth Branagh, Josh Whedon. All of them put the MCU movie where it's at right now. Not saying Kevin Feige didn't work his little magical fingers in the back rooms. He's not Diddy, actually, you know. But when people have to see the director quality they're hiring now versus what they had back then, from what the lineup I just told you, yeah, it's not looking pretty good. Even after the first Iron Man movies, keep in mind, Iron Man 2 is weaker than the first movie, but it's not like horrible. It's not like Eternals level. It's like, hey, it's not as good as the first one. It's just rather okay, you know? Then they went from Jon Favreau to Shane Black for Iron Man 3, the guy that was fucking in the first Predator movie. And that was awful. Iron Man 3 is bad, like really bad, actually. Then, you know, we get to phase 3 as they've built up everything, and we got, you know, Civil War, we got Black Panther, we end up getting Infinity War, and we got fucking Endgame, and, you know, after that, they conquered cinema. And then it came to a point where they're like, you know what? We could just do TV shows now. It's like, all right. Because to be fair, you could justify utilizing these shows to kind of give you could utilize them in an effective way for helping characters that wouldn't arguably justify a movie, right? But little did we know that these people can't write superhero TV at all. Literally, they can't write shit. These shows are just bad. Like, there's like one that people will like out of like 10 of them, and that's just shows you right there how bad the track record of this actually is, you know? And when you watch these shows, I think the shows have did more damage to the MCU than the movies, if you really look at it, because there was a time period where we're all like at home, these shows would come out, the episodes would drop new, we'd watch them, and it'd be like, fuck, this is terrible. This is bad, you know? That stems all the way from WandaVision and the Mephisto freaking fiasco that people had talked about back then. I was in that time period too. Remember, everyone thought Mephisto was going to be in WandaVision. They thought it was going to be the whole House of M storyline.
They did like 2 or 3 different fake outs in WandaVision where they started alluding to shared universe, and even originally they filmed Doctor Strange scenes and they took him out because Kevin Feige didn't want a male character to show up to save the day for Wanda. So they were, it was, and Gray mentioned this before we were talking about way back a few episodes about Star Wars, was that we were talking about Kathleen Kennedy. They rushed everything. Like, they had a full speed ahead. We need to make content for Disney Plus, and we don't give a shit. Just make it for us now and hurry up. So a lot of this stuff ended up being rushed, and they seem to be really hesitant on really going in with the connectivity. Like, there should have been a Doctor Strange in WandaVision. There should have been more guest appearances in, like, we should have seen Hawkeye or ScarJo or Black Widow in, not Black Widow because she was dead, but we should have seen Hawkeye maybe in Brave New World. We should have seen more connectivity, and they seem to be really gun shy. I don't know if it was price or budget or what the deal was, if they were just too fast, but they never really did a good job of staying connected and also creating decent stories.
Even in phase 2, which isn't even as good as the first, you could say phase 2 is a little bit weaker than phase 1 and 3, because the movies are in phase 2. You start with Iron Man 3. A lot of us have said that's like one of the worst ones. That's even compared to the new worst ones that exist, right? Thor the Dark World's always been kind of one of the worst ones. You have, but I think the later movies kind of save it. You have Winter Soldier, which is like one of the best in the MCU. Ant-Man is in there. That is very, very underrated. I think that was actually pretty solid.
The first Guardians
is there. Yeah, those later 3 movies really make up phase 2, because phase 2 was heading down a dark path of it, because you had Age of Ultron. Age of Ultron, I I think it's just not as. Age of Ultron for me is like what Iron Man 2 is. It's just not as good as the first one, and it's just kind of weaker in every way. But I don't hate it. You know what I mean? I don't hate it. I just think it's weaker. You know?
But do you think
Joss
the
Whedon-
shows are weaker than like the movies? I think Walter has a good point.
Kinda, yeah, because
he was saying
drawn out longer. You know?
But Walter's got a point. He's saying not enough people watch the shows for them to be as hurtful to the MCU. But every post-Endgame movie, man, they have kind of been one letdown after another. I think that's done way more damage to them. It does suck that there was this so Warren's totally right. There is this push to just get product out. They've been doing that since the second in all of these, where it's just, here is the date, and then they don't have the actors, they don't have a script, they don't have the directors, nobody's locked in, and they keep doing this time after time. It worked a few different times for them, so they've kind of put this as the model. But then when they switch to, okay, now we're doing everything all in for Disney Plus, man, that screwed over a lot of the planning that they previously had, and I'd be interested to hear what's going on in this report that is going to detail it.
To add to your point, if we're gonna use the movies as also the one of the main reasons, because there was a time period where like there weren't movies until like Black Widow had came out. All we just had was WandaVision, and WandaVision being the first show as bad. Oh God, man, it had some decent episodes in there. Obviously, some of these shows do.
I stand with it, man. Wanda is better than a lot of these movies. I would watch any episode of WandaVision over like the Eternals or Shang-Chi. Had some fun moments, but man, they're just not great films.
But even during WandaVision, because this is what people talk about when you have too much of the MCU, because back when these shows were announced, we're thinking like, damn, yeah, that's good. More MCU. Like who'd want anything else? More MCU, right? The problem that we didn't probably think about back then, I guess you could say hindsight 2020, is too much of it. Like when you got the MCU, you got 1 or 2 movies a year, you kind of appreciated it more. That's something I always bring up when we have these conversations is when something is less in front of you, you tend to appreciate it more. You also tend to maybe critique it harsher when you get it less because, it's how we kind of view things as human beings. But now, since we've get it so much, it's like after WandaVision, there was a week break and then you just got Falcon and Winter Soldier. There was a week break until you got Falcon and Winter Soldier. Then it's a 2-week break until you got Loki. Then after that, you got What If, which was like 2 weeks after that. Then you got Hawkeye. Keep in mind, they were going to put out Miss Marvel in 2021 as well. They pushed it to 2022. And then you have the movies coming out in tandem too. Like, that's just too much. That is way too much. And I get it. They had to make up for 2020, kind of. But putting out, what you had? WandaVision, Falcon Winter Soldier, What If, Hawkeye. 4 shows. Then you had 4 movies. All of these came out in the span of July to December. Back to back to back. All repeated after each other. That is just too much. That might just burn people out. That might have just burned everyone out alone. That's just a lot of stuff. And keep in mind, most of this we're going to highlight there isn't good. Most of it, Loki season 1, I think, is absolute trash. That was bad, honestly. Like Hawkeye, that's like you said for Shang-Chi. I didn't hate it myself either. It's just okay. Black Widow was just okay. Eternals.
Walter and Gray are right.
Never movies. Gray being right. Oh my God.
The movies are your gateway to get people to go into Disney Plus.
Yeah.
But the problem is that neither the movies or the series were lighting the world on fire. Because a film makes it to $1 billion. Because of word of mouth. When people go see it on the weekend, it makes its 300 million, and then everyone goes home and tells all their friends how great it is, and then they take their friends to go see it. That's how these films get up to $1 billion, $2 billion, and it has to be a level of quality there to keep people coming in. The problem that Marvel had was if you're going to do a Wanda series, the Wanda series needs to connect more to the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. So those guys should be talking to each other. There was no real plan that seemed like any or connectivity. They were pushing so fast that these series should have been building upon what the movies were doing. But instead, we get a Black Widow, which is really disjointed timeline-wise.
Black Widow felt like it was a Phase 3 movie that came out in Phase 4, and then it ended, in the movie before Infinity War. Like that movie should have just came out in Phase 3 before Infinity War, like right after Civil War or right after Doctor Strange. Honestly,
It should have.
just
Well, I
feels
mean,
so out of place.
it
You
should
know?
have came in right after Infinity War and before Endgame, where it fit in at the very least, and then it would have, because it doesn't help the series. It doesn't help post Endgame at all.
Yeah.
It doesn't build anything. It doesn't create any characters except for the one that gets brain panned in the first 5 minutes of friggin'
just get Yelena and
I mean,
that's it. Yeah.
So there has been a lot of disjointed, and they're working so fast that they're not working on making everything count. Like Ironheart should be not setting something up, but it should be adding to their overarching story. Like Loki established Kang really well. Loki season 1, I liked Loki season 1 myself. I liked it more than WandaVision because I thought WandaVision started off good, but then didn't stick the landing. And I really think that they promised too much stuff and nothing kind of came fruition of it. It's kind of like Marvel was doing this thing where we're hitting heavy to a big twist, and then when you open up the birthday present, there's nothing in it. And that's kind of like their twist, like haha, like
another thing to add to your point,
Iron Man 3
building was worse. They didn't have a Michael Jordan or a Kobe Bryant. I mentioned this a lot. There's no hero to follow in the movies anymore. I just don't agree with them killing off Iron Man. They retired Captain America. I get the actor point of view of doing it because they've been doing it for God knows 12, 10 years at that point. But getting rid of them, such a bad idea looking back now, because who leads the MCU? Who leads it? No one. It feels like you're playing on a team with no actual star. There's like a bunch of role players here. And a lot of these characters only looked good alongside of someone else, or you kind of felt like they were giving a stronger performance when they were next to someone else, or a certain director was behind them. You know, I feel like not having a hero character to get behind has really, really hurt them too, because you look at some of these movies and it's like, do I really like this character as much when they're on their own? Like, I don't know. These are things that I always question myself. You know, like not having a Captain America or an Iron Man or whoever to lead it, you know, it's just, in my opinion, also been detrimental too.
They should have leaned on Chris Hemsworth. They should have really leaned on him, and they should have leaned on Hulk.
They could have recasted Captain America.
You have the Hulk.
Anymore. Yeah,
you got the Hulk, you've got Thor, and you've got Nick Fury. And those guys, and even Spider-Man, it depends on how the Sony deal works. Tom Holland should have been at least shown on a TV screen in Daredevil or talked about. Spider-Man should have been talked about in New York City. Spider-Man could have showed up in the Thunderbolts because it was like in New York City. You should have Nick Fury showing up in more stuff. Like Nick Fury should have been all over Brave New World. They should be at least paying attention to some kind of overarching story to give us a reason why we should go watch it. Like, what is Ironheart setting up aside from a 3-year-old show that they're just throwing in here now? It's kind of like reminds me of Black Widow, where it's like, okay, I'll watch Black Widow, but it doesn't really do anything for the overall universe. And it's, I liked Black Widow, even though what they did to Taskmaster.
I think you like the ScarJo a little too much. I think that's.
I am a Sydney. I know I like ScarJo. I like the chick playing Florence Pugh. I like her.
Florence Pugh is pretty attractive. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I love her as Elena. I think she's a great.
She's not bad at Thunderbolts. It's not her. It's just, when you get a bunch of these derivative versions of some of these characters, people say legacy characters, not every single legacy character is good. And keep in mind, when people mention those legacy characters, that's a DC. DC has did a good job of that. Marvel's never really did a good job of that. Like, name a legacy character.
I hear what both of you guys are saying, but as Warren was talking about before, they teased Mephisto and WandaVision.
Did they?
Well, now Mephisto is coming out in Ironheart. So, I mean, come on. If that doesn't sell you, I don't know.
You remember the interview? Because this is back when the whole Mephisto craze was going on. They asked the writer of the show, is Mephisto going to come into the show? Person was like, who's Mephisto? Oh, fucking hell. Jesus Christ.
Well, see, that's a good other part of my point. Why hasn't Mephisto been all over this stuff? Like he has
Thanos,
relationships with Spider-Man. He has relationships with Wanda. I mean, he could have been all over this and it would have been something that's kind of interesting. It's like Marvel doesn't want to go, like they're not worth taking risks anymore. Like they're so desperate because they've been losing so much money that now they're afraid to take risks, and they at the same time they're just rushing everything out, hoping that everything is $1 billion project. You know, like I mean,
I was gonna mention the Mephisto thing that you brought up there, because I said that like they built it up with Thanos. They could have had Mephisto in post-credit scenes ever since whenever, like Eternals, maybe. You know,
Yeah.
that's like cosmic deity and all that other fucking nonsense. Or Doctor Strange 2, perfect time to introduce Mephisto in that. Like if they're gonna use Mephisto in Ironheart, which that's rumor that they said. I mean, Mephisto, and people know he's a fucking really demented being. Let's just say that, you know, one more day would have a saying about that. But you know, Mephisto, like they did with Thanos. Thanos was in Avengers. Then they had him pop up in Guardians. Another scene in Age of Ultron. Then when you finally got him, you're like, this character's really worth the actual build-up.
What and they were doing with Kang, but we see how much damage it's caused.
But Kang was already thwarted and destroyed when Ant-Man beat him. I'm supposed to. They're trying to build up Kang, like you said. But then if Ant-Man can deal with him, like why should I be scared of that guy?
It's multiverse, so there's different Kangs to show up. So it's like you're going to get this version of Kang in this movie, you'll get this version of Kang in this film. And when they fired that guy because of the court case, I think you could see how much damage it's done now, because there's no. It kind of seems rudderless. There's no connectivity.
Like they did have a plan. That's the only thing I think they maybe had a plan for, was that, but that got completely derailed when Jonathan Majors was let go from Disney, which is but crazy. Fun fact: we would have had Kang Dynasty this year if that never happened. You know, like my other thing here is, if we're gonna utilize villains, probably not have Ant-Man beat them. I'm not saying Ant-Man can't beat villains. What I'm saying is, like, if I'm supposed to believe this is a threat, yeah, Ant-Man beating him is not going to convince me otherwise. You know, like that's what I would say. But as Gray always says, hasta la vista, baby. Right? No. All right. No new fans club. Major MCU report details what went wrong at Marvel Studios in the early 2020s and how Kevin Feige is getting the franchise back on track. Some would say he's getting it black on track. Get it? Ironheart? Black on track? No? Okay, got it. Keep in mind, around this time period, Bob Iger wasn't running Disney. It was Bob Chapek. People had said it was Bob Chapek that was pushing more and more and more MCU content for Disney Plus. We'll never really know, because Kevin Feige wouldn't take fault for anything. So who really knows if it was him or the other guys, honestly? A new report about what went wrong for the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the early 2020s reveals how Kevin Feige is now on a journey to bring Marvel Studios back to its prime. Yes. Thor: Love and Thunder really convinced me of that. Thor: Love and Thunder convinced me this is back on track. Doctor Strange 2 was really just certainly one of the movies of all time. Truly just cinema at its finest. Oh, damn. Couldn't forget about that Quantumania. You know, certainly a movie. Truly just cinema at all levels, right? Following the thrilling conclusion to the Infinity Saga with Avengers Endgame, the beginning of the Multiverse Saga had a lot of mixed results. I would just say bad, in my opinion. While the global crush card virus pandemic had a huge impact, Marvel Studios was also given new mandates by Disney, which played into how Phase 4 and 5 began to take several hits. A new detailed report from Wall Street Journal sheds more light on how the early 2020s put Marvel Studios on a negative trajectory due to CEO Bob Iger's mandate that forced Feige to try to satisfy parent company Disney's hunger for content on Disney Plus when it first debuted. Because of the excessive increase in MCU content for Disney Plus, it stretched Kevin Feige's asshole and his team thin. I added that part there, you know, because Kevin Feige's always getting stretched up by Daddy Iger. It got to the point where employees who worked on the 2020s Marvel project said it was challenging to secure enough time with Feige to get his feedback. The only thing I remember from this time period that was really brought up was like the visual effects artists. They had said it was death trying to get all that shit done for like the movies and TV shows, because now like with like even TV shows, they have lots of CGI now. This resulted in various creative teams having work they've spent weeks fine-tuning that became irrelevant once he weighed in, leading to having extremely limited time to apply Feige's changes ahead of the deadlines they needed to meet for their projects. The report also mentions that staffers were forced to chase Feige in the halls to get answers.
That sounds about right when you look at how the quality just dipped. It feels like, that's worked too fast.
Per Wall Street Journal, Feige has told colleagues that he only agreed to Iger's plans because of a zealousness to tell more stories and a desire to be an excellent corporate citizen. Okay, but I mean, that doesn't sound like I don't know. It's one of these things where you gotta have some level of backbone when doing this. Like, if you're Kevin Feige and you've been in that position and you are like the considered the best producer of all time, no way someone should be able to push you around like that. Do you not have any like say? Like, this is why studios like Disney are problems, right? This reminds me of that Sony situation where basically Sam Raimi cooked up Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2, really good super movies in my opinion, some of the best to ever exist in my opinion. And Sony basically went, yeah, you know what? You don't really know what you're fucking doing. We know better. You need to direct this movie this way. Like, if Kevin Feige in his position got the MCU to where it is, albeit with the help of other more talented people, what matters in the corporate world for these people? If I've proven myself this much and I can't do it the way I want to, what's the point, in my opinion? Like, I don't know. Which ended up landing Marvel Studios with multiple theatrical releases that were rushed and underperformed at the box office, i.e. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. However, Feige is correcting the course. Yep. Brave New World. Really just correcting the course there, right, buddy? As they've been actively working on going back to quality over quantity. One of the big factors that they are attempting to undo is the trend of Marvel having accidentally created a no new fans club, as the MCU began to feel like homework if they hadn't watched various movies or TV shows ahead of time. Okay, so I've heard this. It's hard to really put a lot of weight into this. I mean, if you have a franchise this big, yeah, I would say it's kind of hard for someone to kind of just jump in. But I don't really feel like any of the movies, barring maybe Infinity War to Endgame, if you want to just use that as an example, or like Winter Soldier to Civil War, you can just even watch Civil War without watching Winter Soldier. I never felt like the MCU had this problem. I don't know. That feels like one of those forced narratives. I don't really feel like anyone ever had that problem, honestly. I think that only applies at the TV shows, in my opinion.
Like, I'm trying to think, like, if you watched Multiverse of Madness and had not watched WandaVision, it's not like you wouldn't have known what was going on.
Yeah.
Like, it would have taken essentially like reading a Wikipedia synopsis to find out real quick that, oh, okay, so Wanda's kind of hurt right now. All right, I get it. Like, didn't really see anything where it was like really so connected that if you didn't watch everything, you wouldn't know what was going on. And that's kind of the problem that I see with a lot of this stuff is right now is that even after Kang was gone, there is no direction right now. So it doesn't matter what you watch because it really doesn't build up onto anything else. Like, there's nothing in Brave New World that really is a massive impact. There's really nothing that's going on in Thunderbolts that's a massive impact that changes the landscape. Even Fantastic Four, from what I've been reading on the early leaks and spoiler reviews, is that it's not really going to be shaking the MCU universe that much.
I feel like that's just a narrative for the TV shows. Like, if you didn't watch the TV shows, then some of those characters that have appeared in the movies you go like, where the fuck has that character been? That would only apply to the movies, because even if you just watch Brave New World, that was because I don't know what they're mentioning here. They're mentioning like comic books, like that's your first ever. That is hard to get into because you don't know the prior history. Well, it just depends on what kind of a fan are you talking about, because some people can just kind of jump in and kind of navigate their way through everything. Because like that's how I usually do it too. Like sometimes if I jump into something, I kind of navigate to the prior history and see what really happened, so I get the better understanding of what happened in the present. I get that some fans aren't like that, but if you watch Brave New World and you've only ever watched the Captain America movies, I don't know how that would affect you. Like, I don't know. This narrative just feels very forced whenever and anytime someone's mentioned that. I think that's just for the TV shows. Because that can't apply to the movies, in my opinion. You know? Because, like, if you watched Falcon and Winter Soldier and you watch Brave New World, did you really have to watch the TV show to understand Brave New World? You didn't really have to, in my opinion. But part of Feige's course correcting also includes limiting Marvel Television to 2 live action shows a year. I think that's a good idea. Telling stories that are largely unconnected to the franchise, while he will be back with a bigger focus on the film side. Yes, we like we know X-Men is going to be their big focus for phase 7, 8, 9, I would imagine, you know?
Yeah, they got Doomsday, and then they're preparing post Doomsday, which is going to be X-Men, the mutant stuff. I believe the director of Thunderbolts is getting to take over the X-Men, from what I understand.
He is. Yep.
Yeah.
The MCU put out more content throughout the early 2020s, and while there were numerous successes such as WandaVision, Loki, and Spider-Man No Way Home, good lord, in 2021, guys, there were 8 projects that came out, total of TV shows and movies. They highlighted 3 of them. WandaVision, in my opinion, isn't that good. Loki isn't that good, in my opinion. No Way Home is fine to me. I mean, I guess 3 things. Those weren't even movies. I just highlighted 2 TV shows and a movie. Oh, God. It didn't take long for both the industry and audience to notice cracks in the machine. The Wall Street Journal report makes it very clear that Feige is looking to avoid as many of those mistakes as possible, with Phase 6 being a perfect example, as it has only a handful of films planned for release. That also explains why the long-awaited Blade movie isn't being rushed following numerous creative changes behind the scenes, and why Marvel is taking their time getting to the MCU's X-Men plans. Yeah, I remember Blade was just man, that's just, how in the world can they not get that off the ground? How can
I think that would be pretty easy?
Yeah. Good lord. It also appears the MCU TV shows will be allowed to breathe a little easier without having to worry about massive tie-ins to the films. In light of that solution, it will allow Marvel Television to get back on track with running more traditional series, especially following Daredevil Born Again's creative overhaul. Yeah, people don't remember this. They'd already started filming like 3-4 episodes in. Kevin Feige went in like the Kool-Aid man and just knocked it down. Now, then again, the early reports of what that show would have been versus maybe what it is now, don't know if it panned out better or worse. But Kevin Feige did come in there with an axe to hack everything. My thing with the whole TV shows tying into movies, this is the problem with the MCU. It's always had it with is something doesn't always have to tie in. You know, I think that's the problem comics have too with Marvel too. Things need to be able to stand alone and have minor tie-ins. You can have a minor tie-in, like like back in Winter Soldier. Remember that one Hydra guy mentioned Doctor Strange? You're like, okay, Doctor Strange is in the universe. Something simple like that. It doesn't have to be this big grand Neos thing all the time. Just something simple. The TV shows should be able to stand on their own, and the movies should be able to stand on their own. Like those Netflix shows you guys like Daredevil, Punisher, Defenders, Iron Fist, and all that stuff, like Luke Cage. Those didn't tie into anything in MCU related. But to be fair, they're not canon to the MCU. But when people thought they were, they stood on their own. You don't have to watch those to understand MCU or like vice versa, you know? But I guess the Daredevil one is canon now. So come on, the Daredevil show you guys all like, not now canon to the MCU, but not back then. You have to watch MCU movies to understand that show. There's no way you did. Not even close, you know? Like, things need to be able to stand on their own and have minimal tie-ins, you know? The latest MCU report about Feige's course correction also justifies why several MCU TV shows have paused development, which are more than likely now all getting saved to happen sometime after the multiverse saga's conclusion, if at all. So there's a lot of them. There was that. Remember that Armor Wars show that was supposed to happen with James with my goodness, with Rhodey. I forget the actor's name, but that basically just went away like my dad. And crazy, he's black, so he went away like my dad. Fuck me, right? Who else is there? That Nick Fury show, that the Wakanda one. Yeah, there's several of them that just they announced and just nothing. Marvel also was like Star Wars for a bit. They're just announcing stuff, and then it never happened. What happened to Armor Wars with Don Cheadle? What happened to Armor Wars? Just gone.
Oh,
Nothing.
you figured out his name.
Yeah. The one thing that they did put out that a lot of people did like was X-Men 97 with Bo DeMayo. But it turns out he just kicked him out. But I thought Kevin Feige liked people of color. He's gay, black, and has an OnlyFans. Was that not good enough? No, it didn't matter. Didn't matter because all that's virtue signaling nonsense is what the people always say. They always say, man, we like these people. Well, one of them ran your show. And it's crazy. I always said this. I don't really care if you're sucking dick. I don't care if you're eating a vagina. You're making a good show. That's all that's fine. Now, hiring you like that is a red flag. I'm not going to deny that. But you made something good. You know what? You haven't convinced me otherwise you shouldn't be hired, you know?
I would definitely agree that hiring you would be a red flag. But I don't know, even with X-Men 97, with somebody as competent as Bo DeMayo, who seemed to be extremely passionate in this, perhaps overbearing, but he did have a vision that he wanted to follow. He was still getting hassled with, you can't use this storyline. Everything was leading up to Onslaught, and I think they were like 3 episodes from the end. They just completely made them pivot, and then it got changed into kind of this. If you've seen it, the ending that they're going with, kind of a time travel one, which fair enough. But even with that, something that ends up being really amazing, they still had their hands all over it, and they still tried to go ahead and twist his arms and make him change the story that they agreed upon, that they were already getting animation done for. And basically, they had the finale done like last minute. Even with that, they did the Marvel thing where they're doing major changes very last minute. But because they had somebody competent like DeMayo running it, he was able to actually keep kind of the heart of that message. But there are some weirdnesses with what was set up and then what actually gets paid off. Specifically, the Onslaught thing never gets paid off, but fair enough. So I don't know. I think season 2 of that will not have as good a time. I'm assuming they got more of a yes man in there since they ran into so much disagreement with DeMayo.
Well, my thing is, like how many TV shows have we watched throughout our lifetime where they swapped out a showrunner that had a vision for it, put in someone else, and it ended up just as good? It's like, if he did a good job, like you guys are saying, which I'm not saying he didn't, well, yeah, I would imagine that the next person is probably some Mr. Goody Two Shoes kiss ass who puts his tongue all up Kevin Feige's asshole, licking every single drop of his butt crack. While the MCU report shows a lot of promise for Marvel Studios going forward, time will tell how long it will take before the franchise feels like it's used to before the excessive content mandates. With the MCU timeline, go ahead.
Why is that where your imagination goes? Just getting back to your line about Feige and the licking of the crack. Why is that where your imagination goes with that?
Well,
that's where his imagination lives.
Well, it could be a Diddy situation with baby oil. You want that one?
Again, I just don't know why that's your go-to with your mind. But yeah, getting back to the article.
Gray, I thought you were fun. Back in the day, you were more fun and more loving to me. Now you just need to give me $10 million.
The article said earlier that they're spending weeks fine-tuning, getting the project ready, and then Feige comes in and says, like, no, I want to do this way. Well, that's massively detrimental to any kind of construction when you come in 2 weeks before a deadline and change the entire pathway of the project, which we've seen happen in video games very openly. Like when you mentioned earlier, MSK, about like Kevin Feige, if they're telling him this stuff, why does he just tell him to F off? Well, it's because they fire him and then they put a yes man in there, just like they do with video game companies and everything else. So if you want to keep that job, you try to work around what these CEOs want, but it's really been detrimental to the overall quality because they're rushing. What the whole article comes down to is they just rushed and they just spent too much time getting involved.
I think it's also ego too. They felt like they conquered cinema, which they technically, you could say, did, with how much goodwill they had built up to then. They thought they could do no wrong putting out all this stuff. They probably thought they were doing the right idea, which was, hey, we'll just more MCU is good. It's like, well, that's how you would burn people out. It's not special anymore when you get this much of it. It's just how people fade in and fade out of something. But keep in mind, a lot of us, when we were watching this growing up, were like younger. We had like less responsibility. So when we felt like we got it, it really meant something. Now that we're all old, jaded, and fucking, no money, broke, living on our mom's couches. Things don't look as good. Well, me, I live with my wife and I bang her and I drive a Lamborghini. But me, different story, obviously. There's a dog there.
Mhm.
While the MCU launching Phase 6 this summer to finish this huge storyline, it will be fascinating to see Feige's fix will take shape when they get into Phase 7 and beyond, especially once the X-Men characters come into play. Hopefully, the effects of what Feige and Marvel Studios are fixing behind the scenes will become even more noticeable for the MCU. So here's my thing with it. They've proven time and time again, it's not even just with what the new stuff is. Keep in mind, there's a lot of layers in that too. It's not just the movies itself. Casting choices, writing choices, directing choices, like if they move into Phase 7 doing the exact same casting and director hires and writer hires and all that stuff, nothing's going to change. There's no reason I should believe right now it's going to change. I'm going to operate on I'll see it when it happens kind of thing. What's Seal saying? I'll believe it when I see it. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Fantastic Four is going to come out. I don't think it's going to be. I mean, I'll be honest here. I don't know why Universal or Warner Bros. Is scared of that. MCU movies have been performing like absolute crap this year. That movie might just make $500 million. And that would be a financial disaster too. Fantastic Four, don't really have hope that's going to be written well at all because the other two weren't written very well. Well, Thunderbolts is like a popcorn movie, but that's a different story for another day. But, given the MCU's track record with writing quality, I don't know if Fantastic Four is going to do it for me, And then we just have their prequel comic. Yes, in the year 2025, they're going to put out a fucking prequel comic for their fucking movie. Yes, yeah, not in the prime. I'm going to do it right now at a low point. But no, we'll go over Grey Poupée. What are your final thoughts and opinions on what we had just covered? I think potentially.
It would help if I unmuted myself. I apologize. I just started talking to myself there and realized nobody was reacting.
Wow.
Good times. So yeah, I MSK'd it there for a minute. But yeah, I don't know. My final thoughts on this, I don't know if we're ever gonna know the true ins and outs of everything. I think greed is the main villain in this, if you will. So I don't know. It just seems like they thought for a while that, everything they do is going to get them $1 billion. Look what they did with Captain Marvel. And yeah, I don't think anything could ever be a perpetual money-making machine. And if it is, you would actually have to take some time to make it that quality, and they don't seem to be willing to put it in. However, it seems like they're now pivoting. I think knocking everything back to like 2 live action shows, and then it looks like it's about a movie and a half every year or something like that. Like 2 movies every 3 years or something along those lines.
2 movies a year, 2 shows, and I guess that's it.
That
Like
sounds somewhat reasonable. If they can actually do it, make it tie in together and give it some impact, good for them. But yeah, I do just worry that they have, what would you call that? Worn out their welcome, so to speak. Man, there's been some really bad ones lately. And, I'm trying to think of the last Marvel flick that I enjoyed. It's taken me some time. I don't know, man. I hope that they're able to kind of pivot out of this. Obviously, I think these 2 big Avengers ones, there's no way that they're not going to be successful. But yeah, I think Fantastic Four is really kind of the test. Let's see what they're able to do this year. I still have some hopes for it, but we'll see.
Yep.
But I'm glad that they're at least saying some of the right things, that they realize they went too big too fast and they need to pare it back and actually have some sort of plan. Cool. That's what we wanted to hear.
I think you meant scale it black.
Indeed. Wakanda forever.
Yes. We know you're a huge fan of Pedro Pascal. He's your daddy, just like all of us. Wow.
Pedro's awesome, man.
Oh, God. Lunchbox Warren, what's your closing thoughts on this?
Gray pretty much said it all, really. I mean, the article, they admit a lot of what their problem is. It makes sense. It's not one of those things where they say we've identified the problem, but it really doesn't feel like it. the fact that they were spread so thin, they were putting so much stuff out, it does make a lot of sense. And I think if they can keep it smaller and more better quality, I think they can drag themselves out of it. It's going to take a little bit, and Fantastic Four has got to do a lot of lifting. And even if the film is great, I think it's going to be hurt by just the lack of Marvel faith right now. But I hope they do better. I loved Phase One, the pre-Endgame stuff. I really wanted all the stuff to be good, and I hope that it starts going that way now.
Also, for Agatha all along, speaking of MCU, Aubrey Plaza, who looks very good, cheated on her husband and he committed suicide. So, glad they're hiring all the great people at Marvel still, Good Lord. So, just for me, like I said before, I'll believe it when I see it. Given their choices in people that they've hired, not just from Marvel guys, comic books has this bad as well. I mean, you could. I'll be honest here. I think the Marvel comics side of it is even worse than what the movies have to offer. If you guys knew what was going on the Marvel comics side of it, which we're going to cover some of it this Friday. Whoo, Nelly! Holy shit, it's bad. Like we're talking like literally building is on fire, and Tom Brevoort is like, "This is fine." Awful. It's literally fucking terrible. But I think Marvel needs to get on track movie wise and comic book wise. It's like I don't know, it's like crazy that they're still in this rut that they put themselves in.
I still think they need a reboot, both on movie side and comic book side. They need new leadership, and they need to do a reset on everything, I think.
Mm-hmm. And I think limiting how much stuff comes out works, but I also want to say this too. Just because because back then when you got less of it, you still had the chance of getting something bad. They're just kind of lessening the blow of you getting something bad. But just because they're going to take longer to do something doesn't mean it's going to be good. I mean, that's just what you hope for, because when you hear that kind of thing, you're like, oh, well, if they're taking longer to do it, it's going to come out better. And it's like, well, Ironheart, yeah,
Well, if Feige gets to spend more time with the project, so that way at the last minute he's not changing something, and they're a little bit more uniformed, and they're working on the scripts more, I think that can help. But that's going to be a big change of how they're doing things right now. So it's really going to be on him to get everyone in line and to do that, to write that better stuff and try to keep these ballooning budgets in check too. I mean, that's one thing they didn't mention was the fact that, like, why are all these budgets going way over what they need to be? So, it'll be interesting to see how Marvel pulls themselves out of this. I think that they have an easier chance than Star Wars. I think Star Wars is dead.
Not gonna lie, yeah. Marvel has a better chance at pulling themselves out of a rut, considering the fact that at least I would say from Kevin Feige's point of view, they have course corrected in some areas. Star Wars, Kathleen Kennedy's full on all that nonsense. There was an interview she just gave recently about some bullshit. Star Wars is dead. I'm sorry, that shit is fried. I'll tell you, maybe reading Star Wars comic books may make you happy at this point, because who knows? Getting away from movies, that's just a different can of worms. But yeah, so thank you guys for checking out this video. If you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, and we're going to sign out, guys. See you guys later. Goodbye. Peace. So now we're just left here with the Grey Poupée as Gambit. No? All right. Now he's Velma. I never forget. People hate watch Velma so hard it got a second season. And
dude, it was worth it. Second season went so much harder than the first. Man, they went for it. And they left us as a cliffhanger, man. I hope we get resolution.
It's crazy. When Velma came out, people were like, where's all these Scooby-Doo fans?
Right here.
Good Lord. I can't believe people try to gaslight people back then with that. It's like, just because certain franchises aren't talked about as other ones doesn't mean that the fans never existed or they aren't as big. Scooby-Doo is pretty massive. A lot of people grew up with it. It's considered a classic for a lot of people. A lot of the movies are very good. I like a lot of the movies actually as well. Like, it's not as talked about, but I wouldn't say there's no fans. Like, what? What kind of fucking retarded shit was that? Good lord. Good lord.
Zoinks.
Couldn't even watch 5 minutes of Velma.
It's like, where are the Scooby-Doo
It is-
fans? They're waiting for something Scooby-Doo.
Fair enough. This is not that.
Yeah.
You know, if there's no Shaggy and instead you got a Norbert and then there is literally no dog, how is it Scooby-Doo? That being said, I'm a huge fan of meta comedy, and man, is every joke in that entire series meta. If you hate meta jokes, you will hate that series. But fair enough.
I hate meta.
I enjoyed it. Well, meta isn't so fond of you, sir.
You know, it's crazy. Fun fact: the character named Yami Yugi, his real name is Atem, but that's just meta spelled backwards. The more you know.
Okay.
Wow.
God, you guys didn't. Damn. They hated me.
We are all so much better for learning that information, sir. Thank
You are. You absolutely fucking are. And will you love me afterwards?
Not even during.
Wow. You won't even kiss me while you do it, Gray?
No eye contact.
Can't afford that.
Gray said he's not even going to kiss me. He's just going to just buy me a dinner and fuck me. Damn. Just damn. So when I get paid this week, I got to get my comic book pull list. I'm going to be pulling the trigger on a few more costly omnibuses, actually. Good lord. I do want to eventually deep dive into this stuff. Got to do it. Anything Spider-Man related, instantly omnibus buy for me. I love Spider-Man that much. I'm going to get
up the first volume of the new Ninja Turtles.
That came out. Yeah, the trade came out. Yeah. Do you want to go over it? I mean, I've never went over any Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic ever. I have The Last Ronin. I have that. Everyone kept talking about it.
I mean, we can go over both if you want. I mean, I have no problem going over the new Ninja Turtles. I have the graphic novel, and it's out now, and it's worth it. I mean, it gives you.
You want the Jason Aaron run?
The new run, the new Jason.
Okay, Aaron. Let me add it to my Amazon cart. I'll lock it up. I'm gonna get the Amazing Spider-Man Omnibus Volume 1 by J. Michael Straczynski.
Oh, okay.
Oh god, we're at Sense of the Past in one more day. People ask like, why? It's like, well, to be fair, Volume 1 of that omnibus, it's crazy. People don't really like those stories that much. I hate One More Day more than I hate Sense of the Past, honestly. Those have sold out completely. They were reprinted 2022, completely sold out. Despite what people have said about not liking those stories, they are massively always bought out. Even the trade paperbacks, like the hardcovers of them, always overpriced. God damn, those stories are. If you guys know what they do to Spider-Man, I don't know why anyone would buy that shit. I'm gonna buy it. I have to put this in my cart, and well, the PayPal paying for it. But I will be getting the first omnibus. The second omnibus is way cheaper. That one's easy to get.
WZ is spitting fire in the comments over here.
I have to get the Batman Beyond Animated Classics Compendium. I have to get that. What else? Yeah, Batman Beyond, the Animated Series Classics. Got to get that. The House of M Omnibus by Brian Michael Bendis, one of my favorite fucking X-Men books ever. Or X-Men stories ever. I love House of M. This shit is amazing. But yeah, I'm getting the Spider-Man Omnibus by Michael Straczynski first. This looks like there's a corner bruise on that. Fucking hell. Or is that just the wrapping? Whatever, it's fine. There's a little small dent there, but it's fine. This isn't gonna get reprinted anytime soon, so I just have to fucking deal with it. It's okay. It's okay. I got tools to cope with whatever life throws at me. Who was talking? Soon. Maybe when I have sex with my wife. Nah, I'm joking. We just have to set a day and a time.
Oh,
that's
never.
I was really like that. Holy shit. No, we can do them. It's just got to set a day and a time. That's pretty much it, honestly.
Well, I mean, you got to learn to read first, right?
Are you saying I'm retarded, Gray?
I suppose you could just look at the picture. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely heavily implying that, but
no,
you know.
MSK PayPal paying for OnlyFans subscriptions? No, you can't do that. You actually can't.
Oh, you tried.
No. You have to have a limit of. It has to be a minimum $20 for you to do it. You can't PayPal paying $4 or $5. You can't do that. Oh God. So let me make sure I add. Give me a second. Let's see. Damn, that omnibus is fat. Look, that omnibussy is so good. Look at that. That omnibussy is so sexy. I love it.
You looking at the House of M again?
No. Looking at a Thor omnibus, honestly. No, the house. Some of these are going to be the only priciest. These will be the priciest omnibuses I've ever bought. House of M and the J. Michael Straczynski one. Just volume 1. The other volumes are cheaper. I'm just adding these to my even the Venom bus, the Venom omnibus, which leads into King in Black story with Noel and everything. That one, a little pricey, but it's okay. Just get them one at a time. It's not that bad. Goodness gracious. What else is there? I need to catch up on my reads. I do too. But there's so much news that have been coming out. We need the IMDb page updated. I feel MSK's hair has made enough appearance now to earn the credit as a co-host. It's literally growing more influential with every stream. Are you calling me a Super Saiyan?
It is the story arc of this season.
What's wrong with you guys? Holy crap. Goodness gracious. What else is there? Okay, here. I'll show you guys it really quickly because I'll be getting it probably. I'm definitely getting it this week. I'm pulling it. I'm pulling the trigger on it. In just a moment. I want to show you guys this image. Okay. Let me show you guys. Gray left us, so we have to make sure he's happy and satisfied. Is that true?
Never satisfied over here, sir. Except for
Never.
when I'm talking to Warren.
What?
Because that's always a pleasure having Gray
Indeed.
to help carry the show.
Oh God. Let's see. Brand. It's unbranded. Very good. No, I need a book in the shrink. I need it in the wrapper. And this one not brand new. Costs like shit. Good lord. This is hell.
Like the must-watch section of the stream. MSK shopping on Amazon.
eBay, actually.
Oh, eBay.
MSK. While you're eBaying, you should put WZ's comment up on the screen. It's pretty great.
Oh my God. Sorry. Give me 1 sec. You guys talk. I have to answer someone in the DMs.
So MSK's hair. I saw a treasure troll the other day. Remember those? It kind of reminds me. Also, the kid from Boondocks. He looks like he might be cosplaying that.
I mean, I thought he was going all in on the Uncle Ruckus, but yeah, I can see it now. Huh. Yeah, it is kind of crazy that is the arc of this season. It is the only reason why I'm coming back is MSK's hair. I need to see what's going to happen next. At some point, it will take over, and
it's like Vegeta
I'm hoping to get in its good graces.
It's like Vegeta pre-Super Saiyan, just sticking up there ready to go.
So, do you think the message that he's responding to is, the decline in his OnlyFans payment, or
it could be? It could be. He has to reassure.
I'm assuming
her.
He's dealing with the decline. He doesn't get paid till Friday. He made that clear. So I'm assuming he's just trying to message them like, "Come on, give me access for just a couple more days. Come on."
I mean,
you guys are insane. You guys
can
literally
stay off your OnlyFans long enough to at least film the show.
I'm not even on. I don't even have an OnlyFans. You guys are insane. I've never mentioned I had an OnlyFans account ever.
Sorry, only feet. Sorry.
No, feet are fucking disgusting. If you like feet, you're a weirdo. In my opinion. Okay. So this is the omnibus that I want. So it looks good, but then you have this right there. Does that look like that looks like a hard crease right there? Is that too bad?
That's caused by dropping it or on that corner, essentially.
But the rest of it, or here, you have a full picture right there. That looks, everything else is fine. It's just this little small corner.
Well, why $200 though if it's damaged?
Yeah.
that's the thing though. That's what I was thinking about. It's like, ooh, like it looks fine everywhere else. It's still in the wrapper.
Trades usually don't hold value.
It's
They're
out of print.
collector. Well,
It's only been reprinted once, so
I don't know. I have a hard time paying $200 for a graphic novel, especially when it's not CG. It's not graded. It's not. I don't. I wouldn't pay that much.
yeah, I don't know. I've been eyeing it, but I don't know if I'm gonna make the. I don't know if I can do it.
Pirate it and read it on my iPad before.
No, I have to have it physical. No, fuck that. Good lord, nope. I gotta have this shit physical. Fuck that. Someone was doing. You can get both of them together. That's probably better. But it's like I don't know. Like I'd be fine with it, but maybe when he offers something lower. If he offered lower, I'll probably do it. But it just depends, honestly. But then again, as you guys said, I have to buy my OnlyFans subscriptions too.
Well, I mean, just know the bills are coming due soon.
Good gosh. Yeah, usually when books like that are out of print, people charge over MSRP because supply and demand, all that stuff.
Well, another thing to look at is put it in the search engine, search it, and then go to filters and hit sold, and find out what they're being sold for.
Oh, yeah.
People might be asking 200, but if you hit that sold filter and you see that 4 of them were sold for like 80, that's probably closer to what a real price is, and there's a reason why that one's still being listed.
It's possible. Yeah, the last one sold for at least $240.
So that is what they're kind of going for. Then is 200, 240. So
215, 180 lowest, 169.
Yeah, so they're up there then. So it's
it's not been reprinted. Yeah, it's a story that it's. Good lord, fucking hell. It's okay. It's okay, guys. I have the tools to cope with whatever life throws at me. Oh my goodness. I don't want. What's wrong, people? What's wrong, everyone? I have to get this stuff in my butthole. That's where I gotta put it. No? All right.
That's what you're doing with the omnibuses?
Definitely not. I would be standing up. Yeah, I could, but I really don't want to because waiting is for fucking losers, honestly. Let's see what the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I forgot. Gray doesn't buy comics; he buys manga. He's a cool kid.
What manga are you reading now, Gray?
I do not read much manga.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
MSK just makes up stories. I enjoy a lot of anime. I'm into a bunch of those right now, but it's been a minute. Okay.
I read a lot of manga and regular Western comics.
This is the one you're talking about, right? Let me bring it up right here.
Yep, that's the one I got. Same cover.
Yeah, they've released it in hardcover and paperback. So
yeah, I just got it in paperback myself.
Yeah, probably covers the first 6 issues. They had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin 2 Re-Evolution. It's like, good lord, they just will never stop. Library edition. Oversized hardcover.
I like the way that you said library, like you've never been to one. But good times.
Black people don't go to libraries. They don't read. All right, so
3 stars.
This person gave it 3 stars. So hopefully it's one of those like I can just jump in without needing to read like many prior TMNT books. Hopefully it's one of those.
No, it's a new number 1.
Oh no,
it's not a reboot, but it's kind of like there's been a time lapse or there's been a time skip from the end of the original series, IDW series, and now this is a new beginning kind of path, like where they are now, and then they're going to a new storyline.
Dingus has been enjoying going through the original TMNT stuff recently. Yeah, I've seen that. You likes going through the original stuff. Oh gosh,
I love the IDW run. I absolutely love it. I think it's great. I've got the those omnibus hardcovers that they came out with.
Oh yeah, those.
I've got like 6 of those. There's like 20 of them though for the whole IDW run.
There's 20 of them. Holy
There's
crap.
more than that probably, but there's a bunch of them.
TMNT, yeah, TMNT, the IDW collection volume 1
Yeah,
paperback. There's
I've got the hardcover ones. I got like 6 of them right now.
I have the hardcover collections for Sonic. Those look so damn good. I'm not gonna lie, IDW's hardcover collections for some of their series, the Sonic ones are so damn good. Oh my god.
I might pick up a couple of those because I miss reading Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, they're up to volume 5 right now. 5 just dropped not too long ago. So right here, the IDW collection, at least the volumes, the paperbacks, they're at volume 15. I don't know about the hard. Let me see. The problem with Amazon is like sometimes you want it hardcover, but they're like you have to select it for omnibuses because they're considered omnis. They're all the way up to volume 16. God damn. Okay. So what did we just say? What did I just say right there? Fucking hell. Sonic. Yes. Good lord. Sonic. IDW. IDW hardcover. Gray. So do you need a hug, buddy?
Again, no touching. You know the rules.
Damn it.
But I'm glad to hear that I'm not the only one who is asking that. Like, what the hell was MSK even saying? I'm glad that, MSK remembered what MSK was saying. But cool. I don't feel alone anymore. I feel represented in this stream.
Let me make sure I put that in my card. Because,
I also tune out when you're speaking sometimes.
You tuned out when I was speaking?
Huh? What was that?
God, I'm not doing this with you again. You're so mean. You hurt my feelings. Gosh.
Sorry, were you just saying something?
Gray, do you need a... I can give you a pay raise, actually. Or I can deduct your pay.
What? You're taking a fraction of my nuggies?
Yes, I'm taking all of them. I'm going to shove them right in my mouth.
That's messed up. If you're not going to pay him nuggies, then I don't want mine. Strike. Strike.
Oh, damn it. Kind of unionize. They're like, we're going to unionize against MSK. Why would you guys do that against me?
Yep, we're going to
You need at least a 4-piece.
MSK is really mean. That's why I will never stream.
Damn. Shut production down. You guys trying to make me shut down production. Don't ever tell me that again. The show must go on. That's how it works here. We'll never, ever not have the show go on. What else is going to happen? Time to hire a new light-skinned black guy and a white guy. Got to get chemistry with them. I have to basically, ask them like, hey, what are your favorite sex positions? All that stuff, actually. But I hate today. I hate it because I'm used to not going back to work Thursdays. I've not gone back to work Thursday in years at this point. Now we're going to end the show in a little bit here and go back to work Thursday. God damn. But no, I'll be getting episodes of the Cloud9 podcast uploaded to the podcast platforms and just working on getting some stuff done. That's kind of all I can do now. But moving forward, do want to try and make sure we do like maybe 1 or 2 videos to kind of catch up on stuff because it's been a lot of stuff piling up. So I'm going to try and get the show that me and Lunchbox Warren used to do on Thursdays going back again. Not this week coming up because I just can't make it happen this week, but potentially next week or the week after that because there's been some comic books we have to go through. And a lot of news that's happened.
One suggestion for your Substack is if you can fit it in, pre-recording an episode just for Substack.
Oh.
So then you record it and then you put it out there. That's the only way you can watch it is if you go to your Substack, you watch it. That might help out with building it up a little bit too, by the way.
Yeah, because I have. Tweet I just made it yesterday. If anyone wants to do follow for follow, you can hit, Hey, free.
Hey, what's up, Miss Sparkles?
Sparkles, she left me for my dad. And Gray.
I get it.
And Gray told her to. How could you, Gray? How could you?
MSK, definitely.
And come on, Sparkles. You know who the bottom gentleman is. That's MSK.
What do you mean?
You're known as the bottom gentleman, the top G, the Riz Master.
I am known as Hot Rich Guy.
You're definitely more of a catcher than a pitcher.
How do you unsubscribe from someone? I'm just kidding.
Are you trying to cancel your OF memberships?
No,
or-
no,
Hmm,
no.
okay.
I just this person's being a fucking dirtbag to me. I'm maybe gonna unsub from them. I do need new channels to subscribe to. Honestly, I need some more channels I could just dive into videos for and just watch them. I like watching. I might do this kind of content myself eventually. I've always wanted to do it, like like in continuity shows versus battles, stuff like that. Like what ifs are always kind of cool to me. But I do need to go through my YouTube subscriptions and add some new subscriptions to it because god damn,
Well,
I just need more channels to
new
watch.
Superman versus Henry Cavill Superman kind of.
I don't know, something like that. I need something. Feels like my subscriptions have ran pretty dry recently.
Well, if you need something to watch, you can check me out on Sundays on YouTube.
Oh,
Indeed.
God. Oh.
Never dry, always moist, and it constantly, gets the juices flowing. Always watch Lunchbox Warren's draw streams. I think we're up to number 4 now.
Number 5 this weekend.
Number 5.
Hey, we're
Ooh,
making
my
5
bad.
episodes deep.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
very proud
satisfying.
of myself.
5 episodes deep. I love it, actually. Because you guys play video games, right? You're not super hard losers. Did you ever play Kingdom Hearts 1?
Yeah, I love Kingdom
Yeah.
Hearts.
Today, I went down a little nostalgia trip. Do you remember the ending of Kingdom Hearts 1?
Oh,
And
God,
after
super.
they part, the song "Simple and Clean" plays, and then all the worlds come back after what Ansel did.
Yeah.
Just Kingdom Hearts 1, oh my god, so damn fucking good. But to be fair, originally I didn't play Kingdom Hearts 1. I played Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories on the Game Boy Advance, which kinda, if you ever played that, it was a handheld for the Game Boy Advance. It pretty much, you didn't do the whole Ansel thing. You face Malak Soraya, who looked like a fucking Looney Tune with the character with the whole scythe. That person was the main villain of that. But to be fair, it ended where he went into the whole fucking thing and slept and everything. So it pretty much like tied into Kingdom Hearts 2 if you didn't have a PS2 and play Kingdom Hearts 1. Kingdom Hearts 1's ending, go rewatch the ending of that game. That's how you end a game. Just, you're like, oh, fuck, sticky everywhere. Goddamn. I played Kingdom Hearts 2. I never actually finished it, but I got to the very end with Zenmus. But I
Sounds
feel
like you finished to it, though. I mean,
but the problem with Kingdom Hearts for me is like, I don't know. The more they made, it got more convoluted. You know?
I never played 3.
Me never. I only played 1, 2, the game Chain of Memories, and there was like this other DS game that came out, like Birth by Sleep or some shit with like Roxas.
Well,
I never
didn't they
finished
do like
it.
a 2.5 or something like that?
That's from the franchise expands and there's all these different things, honestly. Oh God.
That Turtle Splinter Fate is actually fun if you like roguelites. I played that a couple times.
Let's see. What is this? There's Naruto Clash of Ninja tournaments. There's no way. I would play that. Sounds cool as hell.
you always play as Sasuke?
Me? I think Sasuke is a great character in these games. They're playing. This is Naruto Clash. Yeah, Clash Ninja 2 didn't have the Sound Ninja 4. This is to kind of get I think this is Clash Ninja Revolution. I think I could be wrong. Well, let me see the loading screen. They already went in. No, I love those games. I played that a lot as a kid. Those are fucking great games. What else happened? No, but Kingdom Hearts 1, that's a fucking great game. They don't make games like they used to. That had no DLC content. You were locked into that game, beating it. Hard as fuck boss characters sometimes. You were locked in till you won. Not, hey, I could buy this extra DLC to, all that stuff.
I'm not sure you're choosing your words wisely. You said you're locked in on that game, beating it. I worry the way that you choose to interact with your games. I don't know that there's supposed to be as much beating it as you're putting into these.
I gave up on Kingdom Hearts 2 after a few of those spinoffs. It became too much of my... Yeah. People... This is a problem that franchises like that run into, where like... Because the general sentiment after Kingdom Hearts 1 ending was that, oh, well, that people think that it's a half and half ending. It's a great ending, in my opinion. A lot of people think it's good, but there was a subsection of people that thought it wasn't as good because there's stuff that needs to be explained. And it's like, not everything has to be explained. It could just be sometimes you're just going to get open endings like that. And that is going to create discourse, and that's going to create the conversations you have, you know?
That still doesn't explain all the masturbating during playing video games.
Wow. Wow.
He's avoiding the topic, Gray. We both asked.
I don't.
I mean, he
masturbate.
talked about the big finish and everything. Just the act out with the end. Yeah.
I don't masturbate.
Forever unclean.
Or should I EFAP people's content that I like and then just leave their videos in the description?
I think you're doing enough fapping.
Or would that be too much? Because I never cared if I EFAP someone's content. I would put their link in the description, like, hey, this is the original video. Go subscribe and watch them first. I'm just reacting to the video, all that stuff, you know.
I don't know. I mean, I've heard people have different opinions on EFAPing. I remember one time I watched someone EFAP someone else's live stream. They found out, so then they started EFAPing his live stream. It was like an EFAPception, like 3 streams. Like they were just EFAP. I'm EFAPing them, EFAPing me, EFAPing them, and it was just got to the point where I'm like, is this where the internet has downgraded itself to? This is how low we've fallen as a society, where we're essentially just watching someone else watch us in this like really weird circle.
Yeah, it was like basically, you know, you're watching my content. I figure out you did an EFAP, so I must EFAP your EFAP of my video. Then, if you make a response to that, you're EFAPing my original video and your. It's like, it's like Inception at that point.
Well, it's great for making content. Like if I left here and made a 10-minute video EFAPing this stream talking about your hair, then you could be like EFAPing my stream talking about your hair, talking about my hair, and then we could just keep this whole beef going on, and then we could probably gain about 50 followers apiece just doing that. Let's start the Lunchbox War and MSK beef. And I don't hate you, Miss Sparkles.
Yeah, I'm just looking for more people to sub to for my taste right now.
We gotta start a war. We gotta start a war between the 3 of us, making hate videos of the others, and then we can all EFAP those videos.
Holy shit!
And then we can all come together and yell at each other for like 2 hours, and then we'll get more followers.
I'm down to make some MSK hate videos.
What? What? That's insane.
That's gonna be the hard part, Gray, is pretending to hate you. That's gonna be the hard part.
I'll be honest with you, I love breakdown videos of like, I don't know, Dragon Ball Z stuff, Naruto stuff, any of that stuff. I'll put on videos I've rewatched thousands of years, because that's why I want to go through some of this stuff again. Like if we rewatch Naruto, we could have not scaling battles, but like this character at this time versus this character, all that stuff. There's so much stuff we could do that I really want to get into, you know. But it does take time, and okay, this is how much I collected of Naruto manga. So I rebought Naruto volumes 1 through 27 because the other ones I have are damaged from a long time ago. So I rebought all of those to have them for my collection.
You've damaged a lot of those pages. They're all stuck together. I
ended up getting all of the Naruto Part 1, 3-in-1 omnibuses. Now I have to get Part 2s. Then I've been also simultaneously buying Inuyasha Viz Big Editions. God, holy crap. But I will say this, I was mentioning this to anyone that's trying to read manga from an anime perspective. See if it has a 3-in-1, get the 3-in-1s, way cheaper, way more bang for your buck. Now, if your anime has a manga where it doesn't have a 3-in-1, the manga's your only option. That's how it works. But if your anime doesn't have a 3-in-1 option or a deluxe oversized hardcover like Vinland Saga, Trigun, Berserk has this now, get those. They're just way better for your money. You know, One Piece. Why get all those One Piece individual volumes? We can just buy the omnibuses. I have 3 of them in a single book. And it's not like buying an omnibus like a Marvel DC omnibus, which is like potentially 80 to like $100. These are like $20 with tax, right? So
Yeah.
we're gonna head out of here. We had a great show tonight. Tomorrow, Thursday, I have a one-on-one, and I have the Cloud9 podcast the same day. I have to tell the other guy I'm gonna have a one-on-one with. I have to push the show back until just a little bit because I forgot my schedule changed this week, so I have to let him know an updated time if he can still do it. If not, then I have to potentially put it for next Thursday. So yeah, we're gonna start with Grey Poupée. What do you have planned coming up that you would like to let the audience know about?
Well, as you know, it is summer, and this is the summer of Gray. It's going to take a while before you see content, but content is being made. My channel is going to come back, so look forward to that in the near future. But if you just can't get enough of me, you can always catch me over on The Thinkers. That's YouTube at That Darn Kidda every Thursday for The Thinkers. It's an international panel, people from like 4 or 5 different countries. We get together and disagree about everything. Tomorrow, we're talking about the concept of evil. So, if you want to hear an international perspective on the concept of evil, and I'm sure certain political topics might come up, come join us tomorrow evening on YouTube at That Darn Kidda. That's about it. Other than that, future content. But the person who's making current content that everybody is loving, Lunchbox Warren, what do you have going on, sir?
Tomorrow, I'm going to be on Netters Network at 7 o'clock West Coast time. That should be a real fun show. Be talking to her about my career so far in comics and what I have worked on and what I'm going to be working on. And then on Friday, me and MSK are going to go over some saucy indie comic and possibly pro comic book news, and that should be a lot of fun as always. And then after that, catch me on Sunday for my draw stream on YouTube. We're going to go into episode 5. I don't really have a topic picked out for this one, so I think I might just see who's in the chat, who's talking, and then just kind of go from there. But I'll be working on finishing up the pages for issue 4 of my ongoing series, The Adventures of Sig and Joe. And I'm also will probably squeeze a game stream in on the same channel either Monday or Tuesday. I just had a test stream where I was playing Ninja Turtles Splinter's Fate. I've been entertaining playing Batman Arkham Origins and just playing through all 4 of the games, starting with Origins. So yeah, just keep me an eye on my YouTube and keep an eye. Oh, thank you for the share, Michael and Walter both. And there's a lot of stuff coming up as I'm starting to build up more of a presence and trying to be out there more. So yeah, lots of fun stuff coming down the line.
Oh, awesome. And as you guys know, for myself, I will potentially have the one-on-one with the person that I booked tomorrow, pending on if the time works. But the Cloud9 podcast tomorrow, also pending on, if me and Mr. Blanks can do it, we should be able to. I'm going to remind him tonight. It's going to be around 8 p.m. PST when we do have the Cloud9 podcast, because we're going to do our MSI 2025 preview. It's going to be pretty awesome. Friday, me and Lunchbox Warren, we're going to be here. I'm thinking about just starting the show at 8 because these 2 topics are lengthy to speak about. Might start at 8 o'clock, earliest 8:30, but right when we get in for 8:30, talk for like maybe 5 minutes and just go straight all in, pounding it out. Dick all in the ass, moaning, come everywhere. It's how it works. I can make girls kind of squirt. It's just what I.
We'll just skip the intros. Is what you're trying to say? Go straight into the topic.
Straight raw
MSK would
dogging
prefer
it.
that.
Just straight raw dogging it. It's just how I've did it my entire life. I only got 5 strokes, so you got to learn how to deal with what you have. Jokes aside. But yeah, tomorrow potentially 2 shows, but if not, you just have the 1 show. Friday, the MSK show. I don't know what I have planned Saturday. I really don't. Most likely we're gonna have a Cloud9 podcast episode then, because MSI is also taking place on Saturday too, and it's gonna take place early enough for us to watch the games. So expect that. I'm just gonna talk to Chads about it later on tonight, and then Sunday probably just stream League, and then Monday I'll figure out what I'm gonna be covering, for the week. I don't because on Monday I'm off. So Jurassic Park Rebirth doesn't come out until this week. So I'm thinking like, okay, do I want to go and see anything Monday when I'm off on the 30th? There's the F1 movie. There's Megan 2, 28 Years Later, ELO, How to Fuck Your Dragon. Yeah, none of those are interesting enough for me. So I'll be going to the theater 3 times.
I think you might have mispronounced a couple of those, but either way.
Yeah, in July we're gonna see Jurassic World Rebirth. We're gonna see Superman. We're gonna see Fantastic Four: The First Steps. Reminded myself, we need to watch Creature Commandos because that's the first thing for the DCU. I want us because you guys have watched Creature Commandos, right?
Yes, sir.
So highly recommend.
I'm gonna watch it. So by the time Superman comes out, so Wednesday the 9th, I want to make sure I've watched it. So by Wednesday the 9th for July, I want us to review season 1. So that way when Superman comes out, we done the first thing of this new universe. The first thing, we just do the next thing in order. So, that'll be something that we're going to do. That'll be our first TV show that we review. Because I said I was going to do it. I want to make sure I get things done in order this time around for the new DC universe. I like reviewing movie franchises stuff in order. Even when I kind of title movie reviews we do, it's not titled with the date and everything. It's titled kind of like as a discussion of the movie rather than a review that will be titled with the date and everything, which I like more because it keeps things in order for me because my brain works that way. But we will be giving you guys reviews of Jurassic World Rebirth, Fantastic Four: First Steps, and Superman. God damn. Fuck, we're going to be so freaking busy. It's okay. So,
what about the F1 movie? Come on, man.
I'm not into cars and all that stuff. I'm not into guys getting.
No, but you're into Brad Pitt.
He doesn't shower, apparently. That's disgusting. So I'm working on putting out episodes of the Cloud9 podcast on the podcast platforms, as well as finishing up putting out episodes of the Iron Man podcast on the podcast platform. Going to work on getting pre-recorded content that I did on this channel onto Rumble and my comic channel as well. And after that, I don't think I have anything else I'm really working on other than just getting stuff done. So yeah, we will see you guys tomorrow, and we're going to see you guys for the rest of the week. Got a lot of stuff planned for the channel, and hopefully you guys are keeping busy and productive, and hopefully you guys are being safe. So yeah, thank you guys for checking out this episode of the MSK Show.